abortion legal.
I told him that I was looking for a nominee that would demonstrate a respect for precedent.
Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski is also pro-choice, and the president might need both of their votes with a razor-thin GOP majority in the Senate. He says he's down to a handful of candidates and will announce his pick next Monday. Weeks after President Trump's meeting with North Korea's leader, there are still questions about how serious Kim Jong-un is about giving up nuclear weapons.
U.S. intelligence reports suggest the regime is working to conceal key aspects of its nuclear program and does not fully intend to give up its arsenal. But President Trump told Maria Bartiromo he cautiously believes Chairman Kim.
Is it possible? Have I been in deals? Have you been in things where people didn't work out? It's possible.
This is National Security Advisor John Bolton says the U.S. has a plan to dismantle North Korea's nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins. Bolton says we could do most of it within a year. In 2 weeks, President Trump will hold a summit with Russia's leader in Finland. The president tweeted last night, congratulations to Mexico's next president, considered a leftist, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, easily won yesterday's election, vowing to root out corruption.
Mexico was ruled by one party for 70 years. Then in the year 2000, the other major party won. Yet neither ever eliminated or even curbed the payoffs, the vote buying, the violence and corruption that has plagued Mexico for years. And that is what this election was about.
Fox's William Lajeunesse in Mexico City. LeBron James is leaving Cleveland again. This time the NBA star is going to L.A. to play for the Lakers. James left Cleveland 8 years ago, won 2 championships with Miami, then returned to Cleveland and won a title 2 years ago. It's a 4-year deal with the Lakers. Fox News, fair and balanced.
In Chicago, we have 73 degrees. High thin clouds. We'll call it mostly cloudy at the moment, but will be partly sunny through much of the day today, and slightly cooler as we head into this week early on. But later on this week, the temperatures climb back into the 90s before a big cool-off coming by the end of the holiday week. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. Charges are pending this morning against a man accused of causing a deadly crash over the weekend on Chicago's South Side. Police say the suspect took off during a traffic stop Saturday night before crashing his SUV into a Chevy Impala. It happened in the 6500 block of South Cornell. 3 in the Chevy were hurt. No one is in custody after 3 underage sisters were among the 6 wounded in a shooting on Chicago's West Side. Police say a group were walking on the sidewalk last night in the 3400 block of West Walnut when a person jumped out of the vehicle and fired shots. 6 were hospitalized, including a 5-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 15-year-old. Police investigators continue to claim that gun violence is down this year. First Deputy Police Superintendent Anthony Riccio says the city saw 79 fewer murders in the first 6 months of 2018 as compared to the same period last year.
This progress can be attributed to the hard work of the thousands of dedicated Chicago police officers, aided by technology, data, smarter policing, and community relations.
Robberies, home burglaries, and car thefts have also dropped, according to police. Panic buttons will now be provided for employees at all Chicago hotels. An ordinance went into effect yesterday that requires city hotels to supply portable panic buttons for housekeeping staff to call out alerts when they feel threatened. City Council passed legislation mandating the buttons last October. Hundreds of thousands of minimum wage workers in Chicago will get a raise. Minimum wage in the city jumped to $12 an hour yesterday. That's a 45% increase. Nearly 300,000 employees could be impacted here, but in other major cities, major minimum wage hikes have been followed by store closings and big layoffs. Authorities are searching for an elderly woman who has been missing for nearly a month from Chicago's West Side. Police say Joyce Gatewood was last seen June 7 in the 2800 block of West Fulton. The 82-year-old suffers from Alzheimer's disease and is diabetic. Authorities are identifying the man killed in a pileup crash over the weekend in Elk Grove Village. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says Giuseppe Gazzano was killed as the result of injuries suffered in that wreck involving a dump truck and 5 other vehicles Saturday near Arlington Heights Road and Cosman Road. Senator Dick Durbin says President Trump has already told Americans that he's seeking a Supreme Court nominee that will overturn Roe v. Wade.
Equally important, he's looking for someone on the court who will make sure that they rule that the Affordable Care Act's protection of those with pre-existing conditions is unconstitutional.
On Fox News Sunday, the Illinois Democrat said the Supreme Court pick goes beyond the abortion debate. However, Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois says Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell wants a conservative that will make Roe v. Wade the focus of the court.
Mitch McConnell is someone who's very cynical and he'll do whatever he needs to do. I think he's demonstrated that.
Duckworth on CNN's State of the Union. Add Springfield and Peoria to a list of cities with immigration protests. Marchers rallied in Chicago and 2 other cities over the weekend. The march is driven by the group Invisible and the ACLU. Protesters in both cities say they want to send a message to the president to stop separating families at the nation's southern border. It may soon be easier for out-of-state and retired teachers to get into an Illinois classroom. Governor Bruce Rauner on Friday signed a new law that he says will help end the state's teacher shortage. It also makes it easier for retired teachers to work as subs by extending how many days they can teach without threatening their pensions. Chicago sports, John Lester drilled a 3-run home run, igniting an 8-run second inning, and the Cubs held on to top the Twins 11-10 at Wrigley. Tim Anderson's RBI double snaps a 2-all tie, igniting a 5-run fifth. White Sox beat the Rangers in Arlington 10-5. It took playoff holes for Sung Young Park to claim the KPMG Women's PGA Championship at Kemper Lakes for her second major title. Quiet first week of free agency for the Bulls. Just a bit more exciting for the Blackhawks, adding goalie Cam Ward, forward Chris Kunitz, and defenseman Brandon Manning off the NHL free agency wire. Kyle Busch pulled out a victory on the last lap in a NASCAR Cup Series race at Chicago Motor Speedway. The news, a service of the Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports. Coaches, parents, students, and administrators visit PCADevZone.org. 5:07, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's become a summer tradition. Rockin' for the Troops returns this summer on July 14th at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva, home of the Kane County Cougars. Don't miss this year's lineup featuring Seventh Heaven, Ayla Brown, Rocky Lynn, The Voices, and Ryan Weaver. Proceeds will benefit Operation Support Our Troops America. Get your tickets today at rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org.
Attention everyone, you've probably seen or heard about the movie Limitless, where a powerful pill unleashes the full potential of the brain. It's fascinating that a pill could have such a dramatic impact on a person's life, fantasy or reality. Hi, I'm David Poorman, founder of Limitless, the closest thing to a legal smart pill available today. I was a struggling college student that nearly dropped out because I couldn't study or focus. Since then, these same issues have caused me to miss out on several promotions at work. I was determined to help myself, and after years of research, we finally did it. Just take Limitless. Within 30 minutes, you'll take your mind to a whole new level of focus and attention never thought possible. Call now and find out how to get a free bottle and experience this pill firsthand. My only regret is that we didn't create Limitless sooner.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-1653. That's 800-605-1653. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now, 800-605-1653, 800-605-1653.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
5:10. Check on the early morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. This weekend for Jim Talamonte, here's Kevin Henry.
In Naperville, you have Martin shut down between West and Brom. They're continuing to do Rib Fest setup there. That should all be open by July 11th. A little slowdown I-57 inbound, Halstead up to the Ryan. Only 18 minutes, though, from 80 on in. Elsewhere, very quiet so far this morning. Edens and Kennedy checking in okay. The Ike and the Stevenson looking good. No trouble on the Dan Ryan or the Bishop Ford. Lakeshore Drive all the way up and down, moving well. And you're clear on your area tollways, as well as throughout Northwest Indiana. Traffic service of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Wishing you were on a big adventure instead of stuck in a little traffic? Well, this Friday, join Ant-Man and the Wasp in the biggest movie of the summer, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Kevin Henry on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with our meteorologist, Brian May.
Sunshine and patchy clouds today, high 86. A few clouds tonight, low 66. Some sunshine tomorrow, high 89. Wednesday, some sunshine and humid with a thunderstorm around, high Wednesday, 90. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare, 74 along Chicago's lakefront. It is 66 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning is John Cash, Chicago Tribune columnist. John, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Can't wait for Brazil, Mexico.
Brazil, Mexico.
World Cup, 9 o'clock, right after the show.
Mm-hmm.
I know everyone's tuning in. Can't waiting for that.
Yeah. No, I had no idea it was still going on. So, Brazil and Mexico.
Just trying to help you with younger viewers so you don't, or listeners, so you're not like, grandpa, get off my property.
Sure.
Type of guy.
Right.
Because young people are the key, as we know from
they're the future.
What happened in New York.
Teach them well and let them live the way. I remember. Obrador in Mexico. Are we celebrating that too?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know.
You don't know?
People have spoken.
Well, okay.
Right?
Yes.
The people of Mexico have spoken.
They have spoken. We'll see how that works out for them. I only hope that Obrador will be the change he wishes to see by eliminating Mexico's border barrier with Guatemala, much like he would advocate we eliminate our border.
Whenever countries elect a far-left socialist, first thing to do, secure the zoo animals. Because
exactly.
Somebody's going to get hungry in about 6 months.
Well, maybe if it was a little bit closer to home than Venezuela, maybe some Americans or the entire Democrat Party would take heed. I don't know. We'll get to all that. Also, by the way, I let it slip. Programming note: this is a special morning answer. You got John Cass here just a couple of days before we celebrate America's independence, and John is going to do a rendition of Yankee Doodle Dandy, James Cagney style, in the 7 o'clock hour.
Born on the 4th of July.
Just to give him a taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's going to be fun. All right. But we have to get to some serious things. I want to get your take on this. Of course, we've talked about it for a significant part of the show on Friday, the shooting at the Capitol Gazette, 5 journalists and staff murdered at that newspaper in Annapolis, Maryland. And Trump spoke about it on Friday amid criticism that he didn't immediately react when the press was shouting questions at him as he was in transit. But here's what President Trump had to say about it.
I'd like to address the horrific shooting that took place yesterday at Capitol Gazette newsroom in Annapolis, Maryland. This attack shocked the conscience of our nation and filled our hearts with grief. Journalists, like all Americans, should be free from the fear of being violently attacked while doing their job.
That wasn't good enough for Jennifer Rubin at the Washington Post, who was on Bill Maher's show over the weekend. And she had this to say about Trump and that shooting at the Capitol Gazette.
The person who is fomenting violence the most is the President of the United States.
Yep. Incredible.
He turns the crowd on journalists, a hooting, hollering, screaming mass of people. He individually picks out journalists for them to direct their ire. He calls us the enemy of the people. He says that we are unpatriotic, that we do not love our country. And we're surprised when someone picks up
I feel it.
Forget the Russian collusion. Should President Trump be arrested, impeached, some combination of the two, for his role in that shooting in Annapolis, Maryland? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. What say you about violence against journalists generally, I guess, John, per Jennifer Rubin, and whether or not President Trump has some associated responsibility for what's happened?
I think that kind of reaction is typical of Jennifer Rubin, the Washington Post, and many, many other journalists who see they can't stand it when the president calls them out and demonizes them. On the other hand, I remember the New York Times after the election. It's a story, I forgot who wrote it, but it was sort of like the manifesto of journalists saying we should, all of us, resist. And
Pulitzer Prize winner David Remnick.
We should resist. And the culmination of that, or one shred of it, is that ridiculous Time magazine cover of a few days ago, which shows us the president and the little girl crying who was separated from her mother, even though she wasn't separated from her mother. And you've talked about that on your program last week. So I find there's people are disingenuous on all fronts here. I'm sorry for the colleagues that we lost. It was I think a Tribune newspaper, and terrible what happened.
Yeah, no question.
Terrible.
No question, but in terms of using this as a lever to hold the president responsible, you can not like some of his rhetoric at rallies and elsewhere over the years. I haven't. Right. We've said as much. Just like I haven't particularly enjoyed. Well, I have enjoyed, but sort of from a kind of a Schadenfreude perspective, some of Maxine Waters' rhetorical stylings and so many others. But I wouldn't hold them accountable if somebody committed an act of violence in their name. And of course, in this case, nobody committed an act of violence in Trump's name. This had nothing to do with politics, as far as we know.
Did any responsible conservative stand up and say, when Steve Scalise and most of the members of the congressional baseball team, the Republicans, were shot at and almost massacred by a rifle AR-15 wielding leftist from Illinois,
Bernie Sanders supporter?
Yeah, was Bernie Sanders held to account?
No,
so,
and he shouldn't have been. I don't want to hold Bernie Sanders responsible for what that guy did.
Of course. So a lot of it illustrates the disconnect and the problem journalism is having, given that the Beltway is generally, and I think most journalists, unfortunately, think of themselves as iconoclasts, when in actuality many are, I think, clerks of the establishment.
Well, there's no question. Look, here's the thing too. Do you ever notice that when they make mistakes, it's always to the detriment of Trump or the right? So ABC News reports Paul Manafort pleads guilty to 5 counts of manslaughter. not charged with manslaughter. They didn't accidentally report Paul Manafort cleared. That accident is never made.
Paul Manafort saves 5 children.
They never make that mistake. All the CNN coverage that has had to be walked back in on a range of topics over the last 18 months. How about this? Massachusetts paper, Massachusetts Republican, ironic. Connor Berry resigned on Friday after falsely claiming on Twitter that the man accused of gunning down those 5 staffers at the Capitol Gazette wore a MAGA hat, Make America Great Again hat, as he carried out the attack. I mean, so he gets fired at least there's consequences. But I mean, where would you just conjure that up out of, or unless he was trying to be funny, obviously not funny.
No, I think you conjure it up when you believe, that you're right, and there's a certain narcissism of self-righteousness that goes on, and that colors your judgment. You can't think straight, and I think a lot of these guys, unfortunately, can't think straight. So he was told to resign. I'm sure he didn't want to resign.
Not a kid. He tweeted, "My 21-year career as a journalist, a fancy term that makes my skin crawl, obviously. Frankly, came to a screeching halt yesterday with one stupid, regrettable tweet. Can't take it back. Wish I could. My sincere apologies. Blah, blah, blah." And so then you wonder why you have people claiming fake news and the president calling out specific journalists, like Jim Acosta, for example, who is about 15 degrees more serious than Connor Berry. Yeah. Bill in the north suburbs here in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. The president is not calling out journalists. He's calling out boofoses.
Bufo.
Have a nice day.
Thanks for the call,
Idiots,
Bill.
morons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the same time that he has this, he's so antagonistic toward the D.C. press corps, specific members, and networks, to be fair. At the same time, he's sitting down. Yes, a lot of it is Fox and Fox Business and Maria Bartiromo and all that, but he's done a range
Fox
of
and Friends. For God's sake.
Well, I understand,
Come
but
on, man.
I understand, but it's not like he has not sat down with the range of other reporters over the course of his presidency.
New York Times.
Yeah. Repeatedly. Andre at O'Hare.
Yeah, remember it was a Democrat who first called the mainstream media an enemy of the people. That was Mr. Pat Cadell. That was years and years ago.
Oh yeah, right.
That happened, and we still don't know the exact nature of the contacts, and the what was said back and forth between the Stephen Scalise shooter and our own Dick Durbin.
Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
Thanks for the call, Andre. Although, I mean,
Come on, Andre.
Bob and Waukegan.
Yeah, it's called noble cause corruption. When your cause is so noble and you're so honorable, and you want to get your point of view across, and you don't care about the truth, your cause is so noble that you can automatically be corrupt and sab your own conscience. That's what most journalists do that are not honest, and that's why Trump calls them out on every time he gets a chance to do it. I mean, I don't know why Trump doesn't take this Time magazine article thing with the little girl on the cover. That woman lied to get into the country. She sought asylum with that little girl,
right?
And they weren't even separated.
Yeah.
And
Right.
she chose to be separated from her own family. Trump should get that family. She should send them back to Santiago or wherever the hell her husband with her other 3 kids is, because she lied on the entry form. And then he should just hold it up and show America, this is why we need a border, because people come over and they lie about what their intent is in America, and they get in, and it's all based on a lie.
All right, thanks, Bob.
I'd like to say one thing. I think, look, all politicians don't like when they get called out. I've been, Harold Washington used to say I should be bullwhipped in a public square, okay? Publicly, shouting at me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go whining about it. I didn't seek counseling or any of that nonsense. Politicians just don't like, and when they like a journalist, you know what they say? That journalist is fair. And the worst thing, if a politician said I was fair, like that, which means basically I'm on my knees kissing their behind.
Right.
I would, probably go for a long walk in the woods and not return.
Well-
So look, politicians whine when they're not covered the way they want to be covered, and people overgeneralize all the time. Journalists should not. And I think there are many, I can't tell. I've spent my life in this business, and I know people that I disagree with who are scrupulous about the facts. I disagree with them publicly. They're scrupulous about the facts. And then there are others who, like this fellow Connor Berry, have issued tweets saying that Republicans or conservatives should be publicly shamed and they should be harassed, and nothing's done. My advice, find the Twitter account of journalists, read what they say on Twitter, and compare it to what they say in print or on broadcast.
Well, the Capital Gazette staff released a note over the weekend. Thank you, we will not forget. Another thing, among other things, they say, here's what else we won't forget. Death threats and emails from people we don't know celebrating our loss, or the people who call for one of our reporters to get fired because she got angry and cursed on national television after witnessing her friends getting shot. We won't forget being called an enemy of the people. No, we won't forget that. Yeah,
Well, then the Capital Gazette is also laying it on Trump's doorstep.
Right. Well, exactly.
Which is what you have to be aware of as a public figure. When you say things, you're going to be held accountable.
Well, I understand. It's funny that journalists don't believe that.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Tasty Catering is bringing outdoor happiness to you and your coworkers this picnic season.
Down-home barbecue, street tacos, sausages and sandwiches, steaks, chops, fish, Greek feasts, pig roasts. The list goes on.
Tasty Catering picnic foods are more deliciously sophisticated than ever. With so many great options, everyone will be happy.
Organic, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, and dairy-free options never tasted so picnicky.
And your picnic doesn't stop with amazing freshly grilled food. Entertainment, rentals, decor, venue selection. Get everything you need with one single call to Tasty Catering.
Inflatables and crafts for the kids, games and athletics for the teenagers, beverage packages and entertainment options for the adults. There's so much to choose from.
The best company picnics start at tastycatering.com. View picnic menus, entertainment options, picnic spots, and more. Visit tastycatering.com. tastycatering.com. The secret to how the rich keep getting richer is by passing down their wealth, generation to generation. If you do the same thing, you'll be leaving a legacy and be doing one of the most important things possible for the people you love. The ugly truth is, you don't have an estate plan. Everything you own, including your house, cars, investments, everything could be tied up in courts for a year or longer. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, even double government taxation. You can avoid this painful, costly mistake by contacting Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group. Tom hosts the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturday mornings at 9 on AM 560, and has been a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. Right now, Alpha Wealth Group is offering you a free estate planning kit if you call 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc. Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
One of Benjamin Franklin's most famous quotes was, "They who give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety." Current events show this to be as true as ever.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
Thinking about life insurance?
What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-613-7416. That's 800-613-7416. 800-613-7416. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up at 5:38, immigrant rights rallies around the nation. We'll discuss with John Cash from the Chicago Tribune after we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
73 degrees. At least one American tourist is dead. 10 hurt after a tour boat explodes in the Bahamas over the weekend. Royal Bahamian police say the boat was carrying 10 tourists and 2 Bahamians when an engine exploded, setting that boat on fire. One of President Trump's top judicial advisors says Democrats who are concerned about the future of Roe v. Wade are simply using scare tactics.
Roe v. Wade is a very major precedent in America, and for 36 years, people have been talking about it being overturned.
On Fox News Sunday, presidential advisor Leonard Leo stressed the importance of open-mindedness in any Supreme Court nominee. National Security Advisor John Bolton says the Trump administration is moving forward with their foreign policy objectives. This comes after reports surfaced suggesting the North Korean regime has continued some of their nuclear program.
We're very well aware of North Korea's patterns of behavior over decades of negotiating with the United States. We know exactly what the risks are.
On CBS's Face the Nation, President Trump congratulating Mexico's new president. The president tweeting good wishes to Andres Manuel Lopez. Lopez Obrador says he looks forward to working with America's president. The Canadian government moving ahead with implementing a $12.5 billion tariff regime against the U.S. today. The move aimed to be a proportional response to the Trump administration's tariffs on steel, which took effect June 1st. A notorious French criminal serving 25 years for the murder of a police officer made an audacious escape from prison yesterday. Several heavily armed men landed a helicopter in a prison courtyard, freeing the man from a visiting room and carrying him away. It was the second daring escape by Redne Fayad, who once blasted his way out of a different prison with explosives hidden in tissue packs. His latest escape from the Rieux prison took only a few minutes. France's Justice Ministry explained that prisons in France only have unarmed guards and they could do nothing to prevent it. 46-year-old Fayed was serving time again for the 2010 death of a 26-year-old police officer killed in a botched robbery. Charges pending against a man accused of causing a deadly crash over the weekend on Chicago's South Side. No one in custody after 3 underage sisters were among 6 wounded in a shooting on Chicago's West Side in the 3400 block of West Walnut. Hundreds of thousands of minimum wage workers in Chicago got a pay hike mandated by the city as the minimum wage goes up to $12 an hour. Cubs beat the Twins at 11-10. Sox beat the Rangers 10-5. The Women's PGA Championship title goes to Sun Yoon Park. It was a quiet week of free agency for the Bulls. Did not make any moves. The news, a service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America invites you to take steps for cures at a walk event near you. Support the 1.6 million Americans living with these diseases. Get started at cctakesteps.org. 5:34 and a check of Traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees a win for the Republicans in November if we take some advice.
With this new era of confrontation that seems justified by a lot of people on the left. Here's what I'm concerned about. I'll be very blunt. I don't want us to be like them. As long as we're not like them, we're going to beat them where it counts, and that's on November 6th.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
The power to save is in your hands. Snapshot from Progressive rewards your safe driving with discounts. Find out more at Progressive.com.
Napa know-how.
This week only, Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil is on sale for just $2.99 a quart. Wait, what? $2.99? That's got to be wrong. Let me fact check that real quick here. Well, I'll be a minivan's uncle. The sludge-fighting, long-lasting protection of Napa Full Synthetic is just $2.99 a quart. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer available July 1st through July 8th.
You are a hero. You may not fight killer robots, but a crabby toddler can be a formidable foe. Luckily, you're armed with a Chrysler Pacifica. Its best-in-class Uconnect theater can defeat any temper tantrum. And when cargo space is in danger, Pacifica's trusty class-exclusive Stow and Go always comes to the rescue. Get a great deal at the Chrysler Incredible Sales Event.
Available feature based on the FCA US LLC Premium Minivan segment. Chrysler and Uconnect are registered trademarks of FCA US LLC.
536 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And time to check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Kevin Henry.
Thanks, Mike. We start on the northbound Tri-State, a left lane blocking crash at 31st. You have solid delays back to the Hinsdale Oasis. The rest of your tollways moving well. No trouble yet on the Edens or the Kennedy. Ike inbound slows first to Des Plaines, again from Ogden to the Byrne interchange. 31 minutes from 390, 18 from Manheim, outbound to Clear 29. Coming in on the Stevenson, a slow pocket from Harlem to Pulaski, again from Damon to the Dan Ryan. 38 from 355, 28 from the Tri-State. The Ryan slows inbound at Canalport. 17 from 95th, and the inbound Ford costs you 18. Traffic is a service of Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? The Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, and students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Kevin Henry on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny, less humid today, high 86. Patchy clouds and 65 overnight. Humidity returns tomorrow with a high of 88. Wednesday, hot, humid 90. Thursday, also in the 90s. Then we get a break. Friday, high only of 81 with lower humidity. 71 right now. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy J. is John Kay. He is John Cass of the Chicago Tribune. And, John, I know you did, as I did, celebrated Thomas Sowell's 88th birthday on June 30th over the weekend. And it's one of the most important things of the last 50 years. If you haven't availed yourself of Thomas Sowell's writings, you should do so. Start with Conflict of Visions. Mark J. Perry, a friend over at Carpe Diem blog at American Enterprise Institute, University of Michigan econ professor. He did a nice job compiling some of Sowell's wisdom. On this topic, per all of the immigrant rights rallies across the country yesterday, Thomas Sowell on diversity. Is there any place in the Guinness Book of World Records for words repeated the most often over the most years without one speck of evidence? Diversity should be a prime candidate. Is diversity our strength, or anybody's strength, anywhere in the world? Does Japan's homogeneous population cause the Japanese to suffer? Have the Balkans been blessed by their heterogeneity? Or does the very word balkanization remind us of centuries of strife, bloodshed, and unspeakable atrocities extending into our own times? Has Europe become a safer place after importing vast numbers of people from the Middle East with cultures hostile to the fundamental values of Western civilization? When in Rome, do as the Romans do was once a common saying. Today, after generations in the West have been indoctrinated with the rhetoric of multiculturalism, the borders of Western nations on both sides of the Atlantic have been thrown open to people who think it is their prerogative to come as refugees and tell the Romans what to do, and to assault those who don't knuckle under to foreign religious standards. It has not been our diversity, but our ability to overcome the problems inherent in diversity and to act together as Americans that has been our strength. You agree with that?
I think it's brilliant, and yes, I agree with it. I agree that diversity is valuable only to the extent that it involves a free culture that accepts different ideas, and these ideas may compete. What I find often is that diversity is only sort of like a racist screed involving primacy of tribes, and I think that is regrettable and to our danger.
And to be distinguished from diversity, the pirate ship, according to Ron Burgundy. I don't watch Johnny Depp movies. Is that like no? Ron Burgundy would be a Will Ferrell movie.
Oh,
Pirates
I
of the
don't watch
Caribbean.
him either.
Yeah, okay. All right, glad we cleared that up. We have a smattering of protesters from around the country.
Smattering?
Yes. Give you a little bit of flavor for...
There are thousands of people out there.
No, I mean, in terms of protesters, what they had to say, we've got some clips. I mean, there were 15,000 people in Chicago, right? Something like that?
What does it mean? The thing is, we keep families together, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the thing.
What does that mean?
It means ICE is a terrorist organization. And don't believe me, believe this young woman in L.A.
I see the don't have ice.
A heart of ice.
A heart of ice. So there you go. Tell me why it was important for you girls to be out here, and tell me why this anti-ICE chant has been so predominant throughout the rally today.
Well, because ICE is basically a terrorist organization, and we're a peace organization. And it's beyond a terrorist organization. What is it to take a nursing baby from the breast of her mother is a level of insanity and cruelty that's kind of to even think about.
So that was the real theme at most of these rallies from the coverage I saw. And this is coverage that's sympathetic to the protesters, right? The theme was ICE is a terrorist organization, ICE must go, Trump must go, etc. It wasn't. It was less about keeping families together, to be honest.
It's all sympathetic to the protesters. No one wants to. Few people want to stand up and just say, "What does all this mean? Do you want to get rid of borders?" No one. These TV people, I'm sorry to say, most of them are not selected for their ability to, put thoughts together. They're selected for their looks.
Neither.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's one of the main criterions, which is why you're not a big TV star.
Because I
mean
what are you trying to say?
I'm
I mean, just
trying to
come
say,
right out and say it. Come on.
I don't think we're beautiful people. I mean, inside we are,
Yeah. I don't know about that, John.
I don't know.
There may be something else going on.
I think a razor and some shaving cream
some
might
shears.
help your
Here's a protester in Washington, D.C., who got into a bit of a back and forth with a reporter from the Daily Caller, who happened to be an immigrant. So that made it that much more entertaining, particularly when this woman lost herself and made a particular offering.
Daily Caller! Daily Caller! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Daughter of an immigrant.
I don't care.
I'm just out here reporting.
I got Native American skin, so.
I'm just out here reporting.
So you work for Daily Caller.
I have the
you
right
work
to be
for the
here.
other side. You work for the other side.
like the tambourine.
While they round up your Latina brothers and sisters, you take their money. You take their money. You are the racist. You work for racists. You know you're full of You know you're full of right.
Isn't it a beautiful
listen to that.
You too.
Partridge Family quality.
Kind of a vasectomy?
The signs are incredible.
Have you had your tubes tied?
No one is illegal.
Have you had your tubes tied?
Have you had your tubes tied?
Do not
Planned
put
Parenthood take
children
care
in
of that
the
for you, lady.
trash.
Yeah.
I'll put
These
you in the
signs are
trash.
perfect.
Have you? Let's put your nuts in the trash. How about that?
All right.
Have you had a vasectomy?
Compassion.
Sure. Standard question.
Hypocrite.
No.
Wait for it.
You want some of those? Is that what you're looking for? Is that what you want, honey? Is that what you want?
Want some of those? She was offering to reveal her breasts to the Daily Caller.
You know, I
reporter.
saw that on the program notes.
Yeah.
Want some of those.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry my phone wasn't working at the time.
You didn't.
Because
You
I
didn't think it was going to be want some of.
Maybe I'm
those.
just one of those trained white males that don't even open stuff like that for fear of being,
Sure.
castigated.
Sure. Well, right.
Castigated, as we
The
say.
cookies will get you. There's no question. So that was D.C. I say a representative sample of the D.C. protesters, perhaps. We had protests here. I mentioned Chicago, but in the suburbs too, Downers Grove.
Right.
Now, thankfully, the protesters here were a little bit more reasonable. Here's their point of view. A couple examples.
I want the children to be reunited with their parents. I'm sick about it. My head hurts, my heart hurts, my stomach hurts.
Families belong together. We don't feel our country's going in the right direction at the moment, and we wanted to do something about it.
And in Chicago.
What's going on right now in America, that's not the America that I want. I want an America where everyone is welcome.
Mm-hmm. So Dan Henninger in the Wall Street Journal suggests that the political question of the moment is the following. Can the Democratic Party control its left? I think that question was answered during those rallies yesterday. Can the Democratic Party control its left?
I wrote a piece last week talking about this. What will happen? What will our country be like when the left holds the federal hammer in its hands? Because they're giving you a good taste of what's coming. And I don't think that's really smart politics. Whether you have the lovely young woman who, she's photogenic and she's charismatic and she shows up on Colbert Show or whoever show.
And she's a socialist. Yeah.
Or you have the screaming harpy saying, "Do you want some of these?" I don't think that second one is going to help.
I don't want some of these. I don't want either.
I don't want these.
Jim in Rogers Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey guys, how you doing this morning? You just played a clip about ripping babies from nursing mothers. I thought that ICE wasn't taking kids that were little babies away from the mothers, so I imagine that's some kind of spin. But then Tammy Duckworth repeated the same thing on the CNN State of the Union program. Nobody's calling out Tammy Duckworth for saying a lie? I mean, I cannot believe that ICE is taking little bitty babies. All right, so what's the story here?
Well, thanks for the call, Jim. I mean, the story is that they have a talking point and they repeat it with religious fervor. One, there were families separated. There's no question about that. But the characterization of ICE as terrorists ripping babies from their, from their mother's bosom is, of course, demagoguery. But I mean,
they care about babies, but the left loves babies.
Well,
kind of.
Yeah.
But the 60 million that are dead, they don't really care about them.
Do you think that they would have the same position on these families if they were, I don't know, conservative philosophers that were coming across the border? Right. They would say, we want to come to this country.
Agrarians are coming across the border.
Well, we want to come to this country to vote Republican. If they were telegraphing that, do you think the response would be the same from Tammy Duckworth and others?
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Forecast for Chicago, Illinois. Today, mostly sunny and less humid. High 86. Tonight, patchy clouds.
low 65, and tomorrow partly sunny, warm, and more humid, a high of 88. And now with traffic, it's Kevin Henry.
It's pretty ugly on the northbound tri-state from the Stevenson up to 31st. Luckily, they've cleared the left lane of the crash there. Rest of your area tollways moving well. No trouble on the Edens. Kennedy inbound, a little pocket as you approach Canfield. 22 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. 10 from the Junction Express wide open. Outbound is clear. The inbound Ike taking you 34 from 390 to downtown. 21 from Manheim. Pockets at 17th to Des Plaines and western to the Byrne interchange. Outbound looking good at 29 minutes. The inbound Stevenson. You're slowing from 53 to Lamont and stop and go from Harlem to the Ryan. 50 minutes from 355, 37 from the Tri-State. The inbound Ryan tightens up from Cermak in 17 minutes from 95th. And the inbound 4 just a little slow at 103rd. Give yourself 18 from 8094. I'm Kevin Henry in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. I don't think Plato had former CIA Director General Michael Hayden's tweet comparing Trump immigration policy to the Birkenau death camp at Auschwitz in mind when he conceived of the Noble Lie. Nor would Plato likely place under the Noble Lie header the D.C. Press Corps' magical storytelling about a 2-year-old Time magazine cover girl who was separated from her father in Honduras by her mother, but never separated from her mother by Border Patrol or anyone named Trump, not even Peter Fonda's nemesis Barron. The lies told by elites these days are intended to foment social unrest, not cohesion. The ignoble truth is that today's elites cover their tracks by feeding the public supersized whoppers to stunt their appetites for edifying information and dull their attention spans. Never mind that the fix was in at FBI. See Trump's criticism of Comey as a veiled predicate to martial law. Never mind that family separation was not new policy at the border and that only the enforcement of it was new. Instead, understand this as an existential battle not for border security, but against bigotry. In other news, Paul Manafort has pled guilty to a violent crime for which he was not charged. ABC News reports.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. I was reading an article the other day that the average American homeowner has over $16,000 in high interest rate credit card debt. Every morning you wake up and you work so hard to get ahead, but by the end of the month, you're just barely getting by. Then when things pop up like new tires, medical bills, school supplies, a laptop, it ends up on the credit cards. Well, the good news is if you're a homeowner, there's never been a better time to do a cash-out refinance. Your home is going up in value quicker than it has over the last 10 years. And mortgage rates are still near these all-time low levels. Cash-out loans are some of our favorites. Honestly, they really are, because those are the ones that make the greatest impact in a person's financial situation. Those are the loans where we're saving people $500, $1,000, even $2,000 a month. If you do have some credit cards, write them down. Get an idea of how high the balances are, how high the interest rates are, and then apply for a cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert, LLC, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Attention, everyone! You've probably seen or heard about the movie Limitless, where a powerful pill unleashes the full potential of the brain. It's fascinating that a pill could have such a dramatic impact on a person's life, fantasy or reality. Hi, I'm David Poorman, founder of Limitless, the closest thing to a legal smart pill available today. I was a struggling college student that nearly dropped out because I couldn't study or focus. Since then, these same issues have caused me to miss out on several promotions at work. I was determined to help myself, and after years of research, we finally did it. Just take Limitless within 30 minutes. You'll take your mind to a whole new level of focus and attention never thought possible. Call now and find out how to get a free bottle and experience this pill firsthand. My only regret is that we didn't create Limitless sooner.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-1653. That's 800-605-1653. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now, 800-605-1653, 800-605-1653.
Deb, I'm so done with today. Traffic was awful. I couldn't stop for coffee. I have conference calls all morning, plus all these reports to go through. And look, it's 75 and sunny, and I'm stuck in here.
Relax. It's going to be an awesome day. Corporate is throwing a picnic in the parking lot for lunch, and they ordered tasty catering.
What? Did I miss the memo?
Apparently. It's going to be great. They got burgers, grilled chicken, sides, the works. You know, Tasty Catering's picnic food is excellent.
Oh, yeah, I know. We had them for our holiday party.
Today, they're bringing out the Make Your Own Burger Creation Station. They have everything you can think of, like sriracha, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, sautéed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. And they serve it straight off the grill, the way a great burger should be.
Okay, maybe there's still hope for today. I just hope I don't spill mustard on this new tie. Good thing I've got my bib.
You have a bib?
You don't?
Tasty Catering's picnic menu has all the delicious summertime food favorites you crave and more. Go to tastycatering.com to peruse mouth-watering picnic menus and start planning your picnic today. tastycatering.com.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
It is 5:57. Let's get an update on what's happening on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim this week, here's Kevin Henry.
Oh, Mike, on the Metra BNSF line, train 1204, that stopped in Naperville with a mechanical failure. Also have that Ribfest set up in Naperville, closing Martin between West and Brom through July 11th. Over on the northbound Tri-State, you're recovering from an earlier wreck. Heavy from the Stevenson up to 31st. The rest of the tollways, the Adams, Reagan, 390, Jane Addams, all looking good at this time. A slowdown on the inbound Kennedy between O'Hare and Canfield, 22 minutes from the airport, 10 from the junction, 8 in the express. The inbound Ike costs you 36. Slow in Manheim to Des Plaines, western to the Burn. Inbound Stevenson at 50 minutes. Inbound on the Ryan, 22, jammed from 31st on into downtown. Traffic is a service of unbound.org. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer. There's an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Kevin Henry on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here is meteorologist Brian May.
Sunshine and patchy clouds today, high 86. A few clouds tonight, low 66. Partly sunny tomorrow, high 89. Wednesday turning out partly sunny and humid with a thunderstorm around, high 90. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 72 at O'Hare. The news is a service of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Wishing you were on a big adventure instead of stuck in a little traffic. This Friday, join Ant-Man and the Wasp in the biggest movie of the summer. Ant-Man and the Wasp. 5:59 on AM 560. Here are the stories we're following this morning. No one in custody after 3 underage sisters were among 6 wounded after gunfire broke out on Chicago's west side. Panic buttons will now be provided for employees at all Chicago hotels. Authorities are searching for a missing elderly woman. She's been out of touch with her family for nearly a month on Chicago's west side. A Northwest Illinois police officer being cleared in a deadly January shooting. And the state says leave the fireworks to the professionals this week. Cubs hold on to beat the Twins 11-10 at Wrigley. White Sox beat the Rangers in Arlington 10-5. And your playoff winner at the Women's PGA Championship at Kemper Lake Sun-Hyun Park. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
They've elected a new president south of the border. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I will govern honestly and justly. I will not fail you. I will not disappoint you, and I will not betray my people.
Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador won in a landslide, a leftist vowing to oust what he called the mafia of power currently ruling Mexico.
Anger in this election is really directed at Mexico's ruling elite, who most voters blame for inequality, poverty, corruption, violence, an economic model which has failed a country which is rich in labor and natural resources.
Fox's William Lajeunesse in Mexico City. He'll take over December 1st and has said he'd seek a relationship of friendship and respect with the U.S. President Trump congratulated Lopez Obrador on Twitter, writing he looks forward to working with him. We'll find out in a week who President Trump wants to be the next Supreme Court justice, and a pro-choice Republican senator could be a key vote in the confirmation. Fox's Jared Halpern live in Washington.
There's a lot Maine Republican Susan Collins wants in a Supreme Court justice: judicial temperament, integrity, fidelity to the Constitution.
But most important of all, respect for precedent.
Collins tells ABC's This Week that means not having a demonstrated hostility to Roe v. Wade, a decades-old Supreme Court ruling upholding a woman's right to an abortion. Leonard Leo, a judicial advisor to President Trump, told Fox News Sunday the nomination isn't about Roe v. Wade.
It's about having judges on the court who are going to interpret the Constitution the way it's written.
Leo adds that includes taking into account major precedents. Dave.
Jared, several people still hospitalized in Boise, Idaho, after a man attacked a 3-year-old's birthday party. 9 people were injured, some of them kids.
I'll be honest, there's nothing that I can do to offer justice other than to take this person, turn him over to the courts. But the families and the damage done can never be repaid, can never be healed.
That's Boise Police Chief William Bones. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy announces his retirement.
He's been a great justice of the Supreme Court,
giving President Trump a second Supreme Court pick.
We have a very excellent list of great talent.
And the confirmation fight begins now.
We will vote to confirm Justice Kennedy's successor this fall.
Hear it all right here, all summer long.
Republican colleagues in the Senate should follow the rule they set not to consider a Supreme Court justice in an election year.
Right here, AM 560, The Answer.
A glass of wine on the patio at day's end. Laughter from your teens and their friends gathered around the crackling fire of your new fire pit. This is the private oasis that AM Woodland Outdoor Design can create for you. Your outdoor space should be a reflection of your family's personality and a true extension of your home, not just a place to set your grill and furniture. A well-designed and constructed outdoor space can add significant value to your home and bring endless days of enjoyment. Spend more time together as a family, entertain friends, or just have a personal sanctuary to relax and de-stress. The expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process. They provide quality service with the utmost integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
Make your home an ADT home and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. Get our lowest rate for fast response monitoring, starting at just $28.99 a month. That's about $1 a day from the most trusted name in home security. Get ADT's tested, trusted, and proven security and service, now at a great value. Don't wait. Call today. ADT. Always there. Now everywhere. Requires 36-month monitoring contract. Early termination, taxes, and install fees apply. Certain markets excluded. See terms and pricing at ADT.com.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 3030 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 3030.
This hourly segment is powered by CharlesEquipment.com.
keeping the lights on through summer storms.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy J. This morning is John Cass of the Chicago Tribune, famed columnist, and
voice of a nightingale.
The voice of a nightingale, as you hear right there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Can you distinguish the abolish ICE protesters that were out in force around the country this past weekend? We played some examples in the last hour. Can you distinguish them from Democrat U.S. senators? I really challenge you. Dick Durbin was at the rally here in Chicago, and here's what our senior senator here in Illinois had to say.
Let me tell you, I believe in two things. I believe in the goodness and values of the American people, and I believe in the Constitution. And the Constitution tells us in November, we get a chance to speak. And I'm asking people across the United States, voters, participate, be part of this election. Don't stay home and curse the television.
He believes.
Are you an orthodox
he
Democrat?
believes in two things: the Constitution and the good values and sense of the American people. You know, I mean, except for those incompetents at ICE and thugs who don't support open borders. Dick Durbin on ICE. Listen to this. Does it remind you of how he once termed another branch of the government?
Look at ICE. What a group of incompetents. At this point, they're focused more on toddlers than terrorists. They want to, instead of deporting felons, they want to deport families that are being persecuted by criminal gangs. We're in the middle of the worst drug epidemic in our history, and instead of focusing on stopping bad drugs from coming in and stopping dirty drug money from going out, they're focusing on separating kids from their families.
John, your comment on the senior senator?
Have you ever held a bullhead in your hand?
Go fishing? Fish, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you could go fishing. There's like, if you ever pick a bullhead up, try to get it off the hook, it's slimy, it's soft, and it's got those fins. It could hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he opens his mouth.
And then I took that bullhead when I got it in the boat and just beat it against the side of the boat.
Cut it up and use it for bait, baby.
I'll tell you.
That's right.
Dick Durbin, ICE are a bunch of incompetents. They're more focused on toddlers than terrorists. Does it remind you of anything?
It reminds me of a scene in Pygmalion where Professor Higgins says, alliteration, you've applied it to the boots and the butter, and I forget what else.
Uh-huh.
Toddlers and terrorists.
Well,
it's so cute, Dick.
I was thinking of when he compared the U.S. military to Soviet commissars and Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge in the wake of the Abu Ghraib scandal back during the war in Iraq.
He's just something else.
He is. He's our senior senator. Barely a glove we've laid on him in Illinois. Way to go, Republican Party. Here's
I wanted the other guy. I wanted the guy from the Annapolis grid, right? There were two people running for in that.
Doug Truax. Yes,
yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Truax.
right. Dick Durbin is not alone. There were other senators out in force at the rallies. For example, Pocahontas in Boston.
We need to rebuild our immigration system from top to bottom, starting by replacing ICE with something that reflects our morality.
Again, the question...
Smoke signals.
Yes, right. The question, can you distinguish the abolish ICE protesters from the Democrat senators? You think the Democrats are doing themselves a service by adopting the position of the base of their party, which is to abolish ICE? Should we go along with the Democrats and abolish ICE?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not just get rid of all borders? And if we don't have ICE, then we don't need to really worry about. I mean, what's the point? If you don't have an enforcement arm, let's just get rid of it. Let's get rid of borders. We could be one people, the people of Soros, together.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. I shouldn't have told you who was saying what, so then you could have actually played the game. Is this a senator, a Democrat senator, or is this a protester? So I'll give you another example.
I believe that it has become a deportation force, and I think you should separate the criminal justice from the immigration issues, and I think you should reimagine ICE under a new agency with a very different mission and take those two missions out. And so we believe that we should protect families that need our help, and that is not what ICE is doing today, and that's why I believe you should get rid of it, start over, reimagine it, and build something that actually works.
Is that a protester or a Democrat senator?
Definitely.
No.
It's got to be.
Democrat senator from New York named Kristen Gillibrand.
Oh, the one who loved Bill Clinton until she didn't.
Well, yeah, there's no question. She also was a supporter of ICE before she wasn't. Gillibrand has had to kind of reimagine herself in the U.S. Senate.
Times.
Yeah, because she's not from New York City. She is from a traditionally Republican district initially when she was in the House of Representatives. She opposed amnesty for illegal immigrants. She supported deputized local law enforcement officers to enforce federal immigration law. She spoke out against Eliot Spitzer's proposal to allow illegal immigrants to have driver's licenses and sought to make English the official language of the United States.
Kind of sounds like Rahm.
A lot of...
Back in the day when he wanted raids on factories that employed illegal immigrants.
A lot of political chameleons, the left, this is what, and frankly, this is what the base understands, that if we push hard enough, the shame mobsters are more powerful than the elected officials, because the elected officials will play whatever tune that we set, right? They will, whatever tune we sing, they will sing along.
Are you suggesting that the Democratic Party is collapsing and that the whatever's left of the moderates are being driven out and that the hard left is taking over?
I'm not suggesting that. President Trump is suggesting that.
I'm just going to say that. The 28-year-old socialist that just beat out Joe Crowley says abolish ICE. And get this, more Democrats are getting in line with that. Kristen Gillibrand today saying we need to abolish ICE.
Well, I hope they keep thinking about it because they're going to get beaten so badly. Do you know, ICE, these are the guys that go in and take MS-13 and they take them out because they're much tougher than MS-13, like by a factor of 10. And these are the ones... You get rid of ICE, you're going to have a country that you're going to be afraid to walk out of your house. I love that issue if they're going to actually do that. They're seriously talking about that because you are going to have a country that's crime-ridden. The Border Patrol agents, ICE, these people are incredible.
You know, the American people may not like the family separation that they saw. It's understandable. I know they don't. But again, the overreach. To Henninger's question, can the Democrat Party control its left? They clearly cannot. This is not a socialist country. We're not embracing Mexican-style socialism or Venezuela-style socialism. And to me, my sense of it is these gambits by the left, the inability to distinguish between their senators and their protesters, is going to at least help motivate that Trump vote that came out for him in 16 or flipped over from Democrats in 16 to come back out again in 18 to make sure that he's still in charge, and him still being in charge means Republicans in control of the Congress.
Two things that I would differ with you.
Okay.
One is it's not a gambit when gambit suggests that you're in control. The Democratic leadership is not in control.
Mm-hmm.
The base is in control, and the base is hard left. What happened to the Republican Party 2 years ago is now happening to the Democratic Party. And you can see it. The left thinks that the center Democrats are corrupt, and they are taking over, and that's what's happening.
Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. Just one thing, Dan, when you were going down a list of the ways that Kirsten Gillibrand changed her views or lied about the views she really has, she at one time got a good rating from the NRA. I think she's from upstate New York.
Yes.
She changed her whole tune on that. And to your point about the Democrat Party swinging wildly left, I mean, here's an actual serious type person that's a leader in that party, and this is what they're doing.
Right, and thanks for the call, Tom. And to your point, and to John Cass's point, Gillibrand wants to be their nominee in 20, and she knows where she has to be if she wants to make a run at that.
Kamala's already there.
Mike in Park Ridge.
Hi, Dan. I'm a little groggy this morning, not used to being up this early, but I think the same thing is happening to the Democratic Party that's happened to the Republican Party. The moderates are expunged, and the overwhelming majority of Americans are forced to choose between two extreme minority extremes. That's a terrible system.
Okay, thanks for the call, Mike. Bob in Villa Park.
Did I honestly just hear a U.S. Senator say that ICE is not a deportation force and should actually be used as a social service wing for illegal immigrants? Did I actually hear that correctly?
Basically.
Hugs.
Yeah.
The Department of
And
Hugs.
hey guys, just remember that wasn't the Nazis that were famous for saying that if you tell a lie long enough and loud enough that people will believe it? Be very careful, because this media out there is going to play into this left hand, and it's going to have a lot of resonation unless the Republicans really get on message about this.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Was it in Chicago that I saw a caricature of Stephen Miller, the White House policy advisor on immigration, as Joseph Goebbels, speaking of propaganda ministers?
I didn't see that.
It was in one of the rallies. I think it was Chicago. So, I mean, there you go. It's if you disagree with me, you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, you're
the shame. What did you call
a supporter
it?
of concentration camps, the shame mobsters.
Yeah, the shame mobsters. That is, what's odd is that the same people that loathe the Supreme Court, conservatives on the Supreme Court, are the same ones who are demanding that, are saying that Trump and all this is fascism. They have no idea what they're saying, and I sometimes question whether television journalists, at least those on the street, of those man on the street rallies, understand anything that they're doing. I really don't. It just bizarre, like living in bizarro world.
One of the things in terms of the quality of the discussion, forget civility for a second, not forget it, but add to it the quality, the substantive quality in addition to civil. We can be nice and be not saying anything, is the sort of punditocracy, the dim bulbs reciting their kind of standard issue talking points to a large extent on both sides, and the anchors on these desks on cable news programs and those making the decisions for both talent and contributors. I mean, part of the reason these dialogues are so circular is because some of the people leading them, by nature of their perches in the media, they're either kind of disingenuous or they're morons.
Useful idiots.
One of the two, or some combination of the two.
Useful idiots can be on the right and the left.
And there's no question. Mike on the north side.
Good morning. I don't know if I like that segue. Dim bulbs and useful idiots. And here's Mike from the north side.
We're in the same.
Nothing personal. Yeah.
Good morning, John. How you doing?
Mike, how you doing, man?
How are the tomatoes doing?
They're doing good. As long as I sing the Maxine Waters song to them, they seem to grow.
Sure.
There you go. I just want to remind everybody that the Democrats are trying to take your eyes off of what they've done. They're all worried about these immigrant kids, even the Peter Dinklage of downstate, Dick Durbin, the ungiant of the Senate. But what about all those Democratic patronage and pedophile patronage workers they hired at the Board of Ed? Everyone's forgotten about that. We're the Democrats. We care about children, except if our patronage workers are molesting them. Just remember that when you go to vote.
Thanks for the call, Mike. By the way, John, on those tomatoes, make sure not to play them Puberty Love, because they'll explode.
I don't know what that is.
Did you ever see the movie Killer Tomatoes?
No, I did not.
You should see it.
I'll keep that.
It's a warning shot for your tomato garden, whatever it is. John in Mokina.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. It seems to me that these are the same Democrats who were trying to shut down the investigation at the top of the FBI by claiming that Republicans and Donald Trump were deriding the entire FBI, yet now they're deriding the entire ice.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, very good. Thanks for the call, John. Also, they sort of, you never know where they're going to be because sometimes their interests change, and so their positions do. The FBI is bad. The FBI is...
Comey's a hero. Comey's terrible.
The FBI is wonderful. How dare you denigrate these
There's
people?
one constant.
Yeah.
High emotion. And after a while, and someone, so even if someone tells you they love you, if they scream it at the top of their lungs every day, you might get a little turned off. You might just get a little sick of it.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast for Chicago today, mostly sunny and less humid, a high of 86. Tonight, patchy clouds, low 65. Tomorrow, partly sunny, warm and more humid, high of 88. And who cares, just as long as I have time to make my ribs on Independence Day. Kevin Henry with the traffic.
On Metro's BNSF line, train 1204, it's due in Union Station at 612. Still stopped in Naperville with a mechanical problem. They're going to send other trains there to help out those stranded passengers. In Waukegan, an accident, Belvedere and Greenleaf. Over on the Edens inbound, 20 from Lake Cook. Outbound 19. The inbound Kennedy takes you 22. 10 from the Junction 8 in the Express. Now outbound, an accident taking out the right lane at Bryn Mawr. Some heavy delays back to Montrose. So it's only 10 to Montrose, but 35 out to the airport. Inbound Ike at 36 from 390, 23 from Manheim, slow from Manheim to Des Plaines and right around the Byrne interchange. Stevenson in from 355 takes you 48, heaviest from Harlem to Kedzie. The inbound Ryan at 25, moving well on I-57 and the Bishop Ford. No delays yet on Lakeshore Drive. The northbound Tri-State still recovering from an earlier crash, slow from the Stevenson to 31st, and looking good out in northwest Indiana. I'm Kevin Henry in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Napa know-how. This week only, Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil is on sale for just $2.99 a quart. Wait, what? $2.99? That's got to be wrong. Let me fact check that real quick here. Well, I'll be a minivan's uncle. The sludge-fighting, long-lasting protection of Napa Full Synthetic is just $2.99 a quart. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer available July 1st through July 8th.
You are a hero. You may not fight killer robots, but a crabby toddler can be a formidable foe. No! Luckily, you're armed with a Chrysler Pacifica. Its best-in-class Uconnect theater can defeat any temper tantrum. And when cargo space is in danger, Pacifica's trusty class-exclusive Stow and Go always comes to the rescue. Get a great deal at the Chrysler Incredible Sales Event.
Available feature based on the FCA US LLC Premium Minivan segment. Chrysler and Uconnect are registered trademarks of FCA US LLC.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, Chicagoland, Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us, and he just gets it. Ryan, great to talk to you again. Look, obviously, home prices are going up, and homes are moving fast. Somebody's looking to sell their home in the Chicagoland area. What do?
Well, if you're looking to sell your house, I tell you, just make up a price and put a for sale by owner sign out in the front yard, and you should have no problem selling that house. There's just not enough inventory. There's more buyers out there than there are sellers. But if you're thinking about buying a house, that's where you really better be on your A game. You better be pre-approved and pre-approved by a strong mortgage lender. At the Home Loan Expert Office, when we pre-approve you to buy a house, we go over your credit with you. We go over interest rates, payments, give you a good idea of what you should be looking for and what your price points are. And then we pre-approve you on a gold piece of paper. Literally, our pre-approvals are written on gold. And we send those to the agents. They know that you're ready to buy. Don't miss the house of your dreams. Get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. Not only do we have great grills, but also the best hot patio heaters. We are the nationwide distributor for Bromic Radiant Patio Heaters, the very best patio heater that you can get. The Bromic heaters use the same radiant burner technology as our Solaire infrared grills, so they heat up fast and keep you warm so you can enjoy your backyard grill and outdoor living spaces into the night and all year round. Bromic heaters have stylish contemporary designs that fit perfectly in backyard and restaurant patios. We have gas and electric models to suit most installation needs, and a portable gas heater that directs the heat where you want it, not the bushes and walls like the mushroom heaters. For top quality performance and aesthetics, you want Bromic Radiant Patio Heaters and Solaire Infrared Grills. Learn about these amazing grills and heaters at BestHotGrill.com. That's BestHotGrill.com, BestHotGrill.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass in for Amy this morning, and I love this story. Making national news is Flossmoor, Illinois. Wall Street Journal reporting on a unique ordinance Flossmoor has had for 43 years, and that is a effective ban on pickup trucks. You cannot have a pickup truck in your driveway in Flossmoor. Coral Gables, Florida, had the same ordinance, but voted to drop it in 2012. Flossmoor officials say they believe their community then became the last in America with such a restriction. The story in the Wall Street Journal profiles a young guy, a young family, Luke Lambert and his wife. They bought a red brick house in Flossmoor, and 5 years ago, 2 years later, they bought a blue 1966 Ford F-100 pickup with plans to fix it up, and that's when the tickets started. It doesn't fit in his garage, parked it on the driveway, and that's a no-no per the ordinance. I mean, Flossmoor should be ecstatic that a family in their 30s moved into Flossmoor in the last 5 years. What is it? What do they think this is, 1950? Who's moving to Flossmoor?
Wait, you could have any commercial vehicle in your driveway?
You cannot have. Well, you could. Not a pickup truck.
No, you're advocating. So if say the owner of Polecat's Gentleman's Lounge has a service vehicle with a bunch of hot girls in poles on the sides, that would be okay to park next to the First Episcopal Church of Flossmoor. Come on, Dan.
I don't know why that was the example that was top of mind, but okay. All right, I get your point.
Where's the decency, sir? Do you have any decency?
They have. There have been residents that have made an effort against the village before. Jim Minks, a retired Illinois state trooper, got 53 tickets for his Mazda B2000 pickup after moving to Flossmoor in '86. Instead of paying, he took the village to court, fought the case for 13 years, all the way to the state Supreme Court, which refused to hear it, so he lost. Mayor Paul Braun, who is the mayor of Flossmoor, in classic courageous Illinois Paul fashion, I would say the ordinance is aesthetics-based, and I can respect both sides, both opinions.
Sounds like Dick Durbin before he switched from pro-life to anti-life.
Flossmoor, 60% of Flossmoor's downtown retail district is vacant. It has some of the highest property taxes in the Western Hemisphere. I have friends in Flossmoor, one and a young family too. A house that's now worth about $150,000, which is about $100 off what they paid for it not so long ago. $10,000 property tax.
Where's
bill.
Kim Fox to lead the charge? Our state's attorney, Cook County.
She's busy opening up the jails, I believe.
I thought she was opening them up to let people out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, correct. By the way, I recall this story before, but it bears repeating. A story from the late 60s in your publication, the Chicago Tribune. The 5 wealthiest communities in the Chicagoland area. You'll recognize the names because some of them are still the wealthiest communities. Winnetka, Glencoe, Highland Park, Flossmoor, Olympia Fields. That was in the 60s. By the late 80s, it was ball game over in Olympia Fields and Flossmoor. Why? Because the property tax, in part, because the property tax system and awful, predatory, racist policy from the 5th floor of City Hall, sending scattered site housing disproportionately to the south suburbs, destroyed those communities, never to recover.
You're opposed to Daley administration destroying scattered site housing and sending people to the suburbs? How would the Daley guys, all those friends, what would they invest in if they didn't have public housing, empty public housing like Cabrini Green to invest in and around?
It was how it was how some of those guys got to live in Glencoe and Winnetka and Highland Park and keep them the richest communities in the region.
Florida, I'd say.
Well, that too now. Right. All right, coming up, we're going to address the SCOTUS replacement for Anthony Kennedy. President Trump announcing that his nominee will be presented on July 9th, a week from today. And the left has something they're kicking around as a way to prevent a conservative move on the court. We'll discuss it at 6:36. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 72 degrees to start the week. Morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott, the nation's biggest business group this morning. Taking on the president on tariffs. Chamber of Commerce is launching a campaign today opposing the president's trade tariff policies. Nations have already started retaliating against the president's tariffs on steel and aluminum from Canada, Mexico, China, and the EU. The European Union is ready to impose their own set of new tariffs this morning on about $300 billion worth of American products. The Financial Times reporting the EU has given the Commerce Department there a detailed response in case the U.S. goes fully ahead with all of the tariffs on vehicles imported from Europe. We're watching the Dow as well this morning as futures are down ahead of the opening bell. President Trump says each state will one day decide on their own where abortions are legal or not.
Maybe someday it will be to the states. You never know how that's going to turn out. That's a very complex question. The Roe v. Wade is probably the one that people are talking about, but we'll see what happens. But it could very well end up with states at some point.
The president in an interview broadcast on Fox News yesterday. Memorial services for the 5 victims of the shooting at a Maryland newsroom will begin today. A memorial service will be held for Rob Hyacin, the assistant editor of the Capital Gazette. The suspected shooter, Jared Ramos, was captured and is being held without bond. Charges are pending against a man accused of causing a deadly crash over the weekend on Chicago's South Side. Police say the suspect took off during a traffic stop, then crashed his vehicle into another vehicle, a Chevy Impala, in the 6500 block of South Cornell. 3 in the Impala were seriously hurt. Authorities have identified a man killed in a pileup crash over the weekend in Elk Grove Village. Giuseppe Gazzano was killed as a result of his injuries suffered in that wreck involving a dump truck and 5 other vehicles. 10 others remain hospitalized. Leave the fireworks to the pros this week. That's the advice from the Illinois State Fire Marshal this morning and the state's DNR. The state put out that reminder last week, as they usually do, that most fireworks are illegal in the state. The DNR is actually in charge of those fireworks permits, and just over 900 in the state are entitled to those permits. Cubs hold on to beat the Twins 11-10. White Sox beat the Rangers 10-5. Kyle Busch, your winner at the NASCAR Cup Series race at Chicagoland Motor Speedway. The news, a service of Aruba Tourism. Imagine if your daily commute was from your beach chair right to the crystal blue Caribbean Sea. It's time for an escape to sunny Aruba. Hop a daily non-stop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at Aruba.com. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager. The Dennis Prager Show.
One of the reasons that there are no competing goods for the left on this issue is they don't really care if we are inundated with illegal immigrants. That's one reason. Another reason is everything is seen in the prism of how can it hurt this administration.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
6:36. Let's get a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Kevin Henry.
Here, crews with a wreck. Route 12, it's in the southbound lanes at Long Grove Road. The outbound Kennedy had an earlier crash at Bryn Mawr. That's gone, but delays remain back to Addison. 13 to Montrose, 32 to O'Hare. Your inbound trip taking you just over a half hour from the airport. Express save you about 5 minutes at 10. The inbound Edens at 22. The inbound Ike 38 from 390. From Mannheim 25th, you're slow from 25. You're slow from 25th into Des Plaines. The inbound Stevenson heaviest between Harlem and Kedzie, 50 minutes from 355, 40 from the Tri-State. Almost a half hour as well on the inbound Ryan. I-57, the Ford Lakeshore Drive, all looking good. Traffic is a service of Lowe's. If you're an active or veteran U.S. military personnel, Lowe's would like to honor your service by offering you 10% savings every day on purchases you make in store or online. For details, visit lowes.com/military. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Kevin Henry on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, sunny, less humid, high 86 today. Currently 72. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO.com. Call 773-447-5448 and get the sun out of your eyes.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Trump says his Supreme Court pick will be announced by July 9th. It's going to be a good conservative. We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning is John Cass. President Trump announcing that July 9th, a week from today, will be the date at which his nominee to replace Anthony Kennedy on the Supreme Court will be advanced. And, of course, you have all kinds of hysteria on the left who they now fully embrace Anthony Kennedy, even though his First Amendment jurisprudence is something that they do not ascribe to. I think the Masterpiece Cake Shop case just last week, Janice, etc.
Just lost their minds, and they're not. We've talked about it in another context. This fight between the hard left of the Democratic Party, which has taken over the party. and the remaining so-called moderates or liberals, they're being drowned out politically on this issue, just like liberal professors are shouted down on college campuses.
Well, and it's
Same thing.
it's all about Roe v. Wade. So you have a couple of arguments being made by a couple of pro-choice Republicans, as well as to the extent that there are any arguments being offered from the left, some Democrat senators on the left as well. And one argument is precedence. Right? You heard Olympia Snowe make the argument. Okay, well, Dred Scott was precedent at one point. Plessy v. Ferguson was precedent at one point. The Japanese internment case was precedent at one point. Should those have not been overturned because they were precedent? Obviously, that's a specious argument offered by Olympia Snowe. Susan Collins suggesting, well, Neil Gorsuch, she knows the mind of Neil Gorsuch, and he wouldn't vote to overturn Roe v. Wade, so not to worry. So the precedent is one of the more anemic arguments. The interesting argument being offered, being kicked around, you see on blogs and from some leftist pundits, the way to address this, expand the number of justices on the court. Add 2 more justices, make it 11, make it 15. Because remember, there's nothing in the Constitution about the number of justices on the Supreme Court. The founders left that to Congress to decide the number. And the number has changed over the years from 5 to 7 to 9 to 10 at one point during Andrew Johnson's administration, where they added a justice because they didn't want him to be able to pack the court as he was facing impeachment. So what about that? You want to throw a few more justices on the court? Is there any real difference? I don't know why the left thinks that will somehow salvage them.
Why not 20? 20 justices.
You probably want an odd number so there's
21.
no ties.
Or 37.
Well, it is a bit arbitrary, but is there any magic to 9? If they want 11 or 15, it still comes down to the same dynamic, which is the party in power advancing their nominees. The Democrats seem to do a better job, generally speaking, than Republicans. I mean, think about the number of Republican nominees and who were confirmed to be on the Supreme Court who've turned out to be something less than originalists. I mean, you could go chapter and verse on the topic, including many of Reagan's nominees. Think Sandra Day O'Connor, right? For example, Tony on the and by the way, Anthony Kennedy on moral issues. Tony on Downers Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, John, question for you.
Yeah, Tony.
The headline in the Tribune today is 2 nominees that could swing the court to the right. Now, what do you need to do, or the few colleagues that are somewhat at least conservative, have a conservative voice, to counter the constant headlines by the Tribune, which is constant. It's always against Trump or something against the right. How could you put a counter viewpoint on there on the front page when this comes out? Because it used to be you could read the Tribune, get a conservative slant, and then you'd read the Sun-Times for the sports, but that's long since
Are you
passed.
telling me?
Thanks for the call, Tony.
Tony, good call. Excellent.
And obviously, the Suns. You don't read the AFL-CIO Times for anything anymore. Who reads that?
I thought that was the Ram Times.
Well, that too.
So
one and the same.
What am I supposed to do? I don't run the newspaper. Tony, I'm here now with Dan, and I do the blog, and I write 4 columns a week. I'm just a lonely conservative sitting on a sugar cookie, floating in a sea of liberal milk.
Wow.
And I love you guys, so you keep subscribing because, you have to have some kind of diversity. Diversity is important.
This is a great
even
word
for
picture.
Greeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great word picture. A sugar cookie in a sea of liberal milk.
Dan Proft, John Cass, Christian McQuarrie. It's like in the sea, right?
It's
it's
like a little band to escape from Chicago.
And the edges are, the edges are crumbling, Dan.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Should we give the left what it wants, more justices on the Supreme Court? Hey, it's just more nominees for us. Steve in Willowbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, good morning, guys.
Morning.
I have a quick question for you guys regarding Dick Durbin, our favorite senator. I'm concerned that every time he runs, Oberweis runs against him, and then the good candidates that are running against Oberweis aren't able to run.
Yeah.
John's there too. Is there some sort of ploy here by Durbin and Oberweis working together on this stuff?
No. Thanks for the call, Steve. To be fair, let's see, in 2014 it was Oberweis. In 2008 it was Steve Sauerberg.
Oh, yeah.
Doctor from Hinsdale, really nice guy. But, it was a race where the Republican Party, which sort of has been a legal fiction and now is even worse, it was just not played in. In 2002, it was Jim Durkin, the illustrious surrender Republican leader of the House Surrender Caucus.
When they when the Republican Party of Illinois refused to endorse the sitting senator, Peter Fitzgerald, Republican,
right?
They just sealed it right there.
Well, and here's the interesting thing. So Durbin is up in 2020, and there's a lot of rumors that he may not run again. Those rumors have been around before, but I think they're more serious in 2020.
His wife made enough money as a lobbyist?
They live independent lives. There is a wall that separates them. That's the only wall that Durbin supports, the wall between him and his lobbyist wife, Loretta. So she can make all the cash while he preens before the cameras and attends rallies over the weekend. Bob in Buffalo Grove.
Yeah, thanks, Dan, and good to talk to you, Mr. Cass. History lesson for many of your listeners who don't know American history. President Roosevelt tried to pack the Supreme Court, trying to increase it to 15 justices,
right,
so he could get his liberal agenda across.
So why don't we do that? Why don't we do that?
Yeah. Well, why don't we do it this way?
Well, that's
why doesn't Trump increase it to more and then get his conservative agenda across?
Well, thanks for the call.
Both ways.
Yeah, well, thanks for the call, Bob. That's my point. I mean, well, let's do it now before the midterms. It'll give the left what it wants. Let's move it to 15. And he's got that list of 25 from Leonard Leo and the Federalist Society. We'll fire off 6 more nominees. No problem. We can do that by November.
It shows you how panicky the Democrats and the left are, and they only have one person to thank. Two. Harry Reid, Chuck Schumer, and Barack Obama.
Harry Reid for people who don't remember Harry Reid, he's no longer in the Senate. He was a great Republican strategist.
I'm going to squeeze you, Mr. Proft, you and your entire family.
Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning. Precisely, that was my point. And good morning, John. Always good to hear your voice.
What, the Godfather thing?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you say, it always sounds good. So Roosevelt was thwarted, thank God, because he did enough damage to the country while he was in charge. And I think that no matter what, Republicans and Democrats, surprise, surprise, are always going to be at odds for their nominees. So if the court has a higher number, it just means that the arguments will just continue ad infinitum, because there will always be somebody probably retiring. And remember, we got burned with John Roberts. He's Mr. Taxman.
Yes.
He's Mr. Mandate is a tax.
Right.
So I guess after you go to law school forever, you become stupid and you don't actually recognize what a tax is anymore.
Thanks
Maybe
for the call, Ralph.
Vote. I mean, there has been speculation. Kennedy steps down, gets a guarantee. Are you going to be the swing vote on abortion from Roberts? And then they put in a originalist judge. I hope Amy Barrett. That's the one judge
from Notre Dame. She is one of the perceived front runners. She's only 45 years old too, so that's important.
The other two would be Ben Shapiro and Dan Proft.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, the two of you.
On the court?
On the court. Both lawyers. You're a lawyer. Come on, man.
I have a law degree. Interesting, though, the one judgeship where you do not need to be a lawyer, the Supreme Court of the United States.
Common sense.
Again, the founders and their infinite wisdom. And by the way, I know you were sort of poor-mouthing yourself as a Tribune columnist and, the sugar cookie in the sea of liberal milk. But I do want to congratulate you on the salary increase over the weekend.
Pardon me?
The minimum wage bumped to $12 an hour in Chicago.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Wall Street going into a partial work week. Comcast trying to return to normal service. Those stories next.
Hey, this is Ricky from Banyan Hill. I want to get a few things straight. First off, I like freedom. Second, I like money. Fact is, I like freedom and money, which is why I love Freedom Checks, a unique investment that can secure your retirement income without being tied down to the government. And while I'm no genius, I am smart enough to follow an expert like Matt, who showed me how anyone has the chance to stake their claim on an estimated $34.6 billion payout. To get all the details from Matt, just go to myfreedomchecks.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri, who's set to get a check for $24,075. Now, how much your check is depends on how much you put behind Matt's insights, but the potential here is undeniable. Of course, if you want the chance to grab your full fair share of this $34.6 billion, you must have your ducks in a row ASAP. So don't wait. Go see Matt at myfreedomchecks.com. That's www.myfreedomchecks.com.
The 4th of July falls on Wednesday, so this week is a short week for traders. 2 days of trading followed by a holiday and then back to normal trading to finish off the week. Some firms may be short-staffed as employees are taking extra days off. Comcast still dealing with the aftermath of Friday's nationwide service interruption. Customers lost their internet service, cable TV operations, and Comcast telephone operations as well. 2 major lines down, one from New York to Chicago, the other in South Carolina, affecting Comcast's Xfinity platform as well. 43,000 Uber drivers working in New York City now get vision care and other health services paid for by a 2.5% surcharge, which begins today. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Did you know that your sump pump is the heart of your basement waterproofing system? Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. Do you know how many sump pumps fail? That's right, all of them. It isn't a matter of if, but rather when your pump will fail. Unfortunately, you may not realize there's a problem until your basement is flooded and you've incurred thousands of dollars in damages. At Permaseal, we make it easy to have your sump system evaluated and a reliable pump and battery backup system installed. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL to schedule your free inspection. We've received many calls from happy customers whose basement and belongings were protected during this past rainy season. But don't take our word for it. Check out our reviews with the Better Business Bureau. You'll see that many of your friends and neighbors are part of the Permaseal family. Get the peace of mind that comes with a dry basement and a healthy home. You know who to call. Permaseal. 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
What I suffer from is anxiety, along with depression. But I feel the anxiety triggers depression more times than not. My first experience with HPR was my initial interview. It was welcoming. It felt very good. I saw results pretty much immediately. Even after my first treatment, I felt different than when I came in. I think HPR could work for pretty much anyone. I think that what HPR has done for me was awaken a part of my brain that either stopped working or never worked. I think everybody can benefit from HPR. I'm Alex, and HPR Treatments has helped save my life.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
Around here, I get things done. When our company needs supplies, we need them fast, and the quality better be great. When it comes to labels, I turn to Diversified Labeling Solutions here in Itasca, Illinois, with plants nationwide. They take care of me through their network of independent distributors. No matter if I need barcode labels for my warehouse racks, durable labels for my products, or even shipping labels, Diversified can produce what I need. And they have capacity, lots of it. I've had them produce over 100 million custom labels in one run on their high-speed automated flexographic production lines. Diversified even handled a job for a trade show our CEO set up when we needed just 100 labels. Normally, the cost would kill us, but with Diversified's digital fleet, their distributors distributor had the labels produced within a few days at a great price. Contact Diversified Labeling Solutions at teamdls.com/radio. They'll have a skilled distributor take good care of you, and you'll receive 15% off your first order. Again, that's teamdls.com/radio.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The Chicago-based C.H. Hansen Company stands proud as a great American hand tool manufacturer. Founder C.H. Hansen was a Chicago native, and the company remains family-owned and operated for over a century and a half. C.H. Hansen wishes to thank their employees for their service and customers for their business. C.H. Hansen offers over 4,000 products, stock and custom order in 8 product categories, including steel stamps, stencils, metal tags, barricade and flagging tapes, and now ventilation blowers. Plus, Palmgren, makers of work-holding vices and metalworking machinery. Although the business and industry have changed, the leadership of C.H. Hansen continues to attribute success on the founding principles of faith and quality tools. The mission of C.H. Hansen is to glorify God by the way that they serve their customers, treat employees, and help community. This is accomplished by providing valued products, exemplary customer service, and operation excellence. Visit chhansen.com or palmgren.com for more information.
When you conceal carry, you want to carry responsibly, safely, and with confidence. You want UltiClip. UltiClip was designed out of necessity. Traditional holster clips fail in performance, losing their retention or breaking. With UltiClip, you get the ultimate carry solution that replaces standard holster clips and features a smaller visible footprint than other clips. The patented design gains over 10 times the holster retention for better security and maximum concealment. Plus, UltiClip features the first multi-purpose tool and clip combo. And UltiClip isn't just for holsters. It can also be used for knife sheaths. Police departments are using UltiClip to secure their body cameras, badges, and other equipment. Stop wasting money searching for the right holster when you can upgrade and improve your current holster with UltiClip. Proudly made in the USA from spring steel and named Gear of the Year by Gun Digest. Go to ulticlip.com to shop and learn more about ways you can use the best retention clip available. That's ulticlip.com. ulticlip.com for ultimate retention and concealment.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Casson for Amy J. this morning. And John, we remember the passing of UCLA professor Doran George, who died in a tragic mummification ritual at a Hollywood executive's home. The UCLA professor, Fox reports, died during a bondage session at the home of a Hollywood executive. Duncan George, who was born Duncan Gilbert, did not use gendered pronouns. So they had been wrapped head to toe in plastic wrapped and gaffer's tape with small breathing holes at the nose and the mouth. And they also apparently didn't use safe words. George, who had a 16-year relationship with a man named Barry Shills that allowed for sexual activity outside their partnership, had become a regular playmate of this Hollywood executive over the course of 7 months preceding his death, the report details unironically.
Who's the Hollywood executive?
This guy named Chasey. Yeah, Skip Chasey, an executive for the William Morris Endeavor Agency.
Oh, who works there?
I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody. I don't know.
Ari? According to, he was, pardon me, they developed expertise in the areas of LGBTQ studies. Oh, really? The room in which George was found, repleted with padded floor tiles, a metal cage, and a padded examination table, was described as being outfitted as a BDSM-style dungeon, according to the autopsy.
So, what was the cause of death, Dan?
No foul play.
I don't want to.
suspect
let's not
that
close this crime scene. What's the cause of death, my friend?
they did not. The coroner's office unable to determine the cause of death.
So he wrapped himself up in plastic, or was wrapped mummification style.
Yeah.
And with breathing through a straw.
Head to toe, plastic wrap, and gaffer's tape, or what I call Saturday night. Coming up at 7:07, we're switching gears. We're going to talk to, thank goodness, we're going to talk to Bill Rickard from Operation Support Our Troops about the upcoming Rockin' for the Troops concert as we approach Independence Day. But now we approach Mike Scott for the headlines.
A man accused of causing a deadly crash on the south side under investigation. 3 underage sisters among 6 wounded in a West Side shooting. Minimum wage increase is in the works for Chicago. Cubs build on a big lead and hold off the Twins. White Sox outslug the Rangers to avoid the sweep, and the Bulls are quiet in the first week of free agency. Sunny and less humid today, a high near 86. Patchy clouds and 65 overnight. WIND, Chicago News Time, 7.
Will Kim Jong-un actually give up his nuclear weapons? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I made a deal with him. I shook hands with him. I really believe he means it.
But President Trump tells Fox it's possible it won't work out. His administration does have a plan to disarm North Korea. Fox's Jared Halpern live in Washington.
President Trump's national security advisor says there's a plan to dismantle North Korea's nuclear and missile programs within a year.
We've seen how the North Koreans have behaved before. The president's been very clear. He's not going to make the mistakes of prior administrations. We're going to pursue this, and we'll see what happens.
John Bolton on Fox News Sunday reacting to reports North Korea does not intend to fully give up its nuclear program. Bolton suggested Secretary of State Mike Pompeo would discuss the plan with North Korean leaders soon. Dave.
Jared, President Trump congratulated Mexico's next president, tweeting he's looking forward to working with Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. That's a celebration after his landslide election victory. Lopez Obrador's vowed to root out corruption, saying he'd oust the mafia of power ruling the country. In a week, we'll find out who President Trump wants to be on the Supreme Court. It's down to a handful of candidates to replace the retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy.
I guarantee you it'll be somebody who has fidelity to the Constitution, doesn't make up the law as they go along.
Counselor to the President Kellyanne Conway, Republican Senator Susan Collins could be a key vote in the confirmation, and tells ABC's This Week she will not support any nominee she thinks will overturn Roe v. Wade, the decision which legalized abortion.
Because that would indicate an activist agenda that I don't want to see a judge have.
The FBI reports an arrest in a plan to attack Cleveland on the 4th of July. We expect more details next hour in the arrest of someone charged with attempting to support a foreign terror group. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Sunshine and 73 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Charges are pending against a man accused of causing a deadly crash over the weekend on Chicago's South Side. Police say the suspect took off during a traffic stop before he crashed his SUV into a Chevy Impala in the 6500 block of South Cornell. Police investigators this morning continue to claim that gun violence is down in the city of Chicago. The first deputy police superintendent says the city saw 79 fewer murders and 270 fewer shootings in the first 6 months of 2018.
This progress can be attributed to the hard work of the thousands of dedicated Chicago police officers, aided by technology, data, smarter policing, and community relations.
That's First Deputy Superintendent Anthony Riccio, who says robberies, home burglaries, and car thefts have also dropped. Hundreds of thousands of minimum wage workers in the city will get a raise. Minimum wage in the city bumped up to $12 an hour yesterday, a 45% increase since 2015. But while nearly 300,000 employees could be impacted, here in other major cities, major minimum wage hikes have been followed by store closings and layoffs. Chicago sports, John Lester ripped a 3-run home run, igniting an 8-run second inning. Cubs held on to beat the Twins at Wrigley 11-10. White Sox beat the Rangers 10-5, and your winner at the Women's PGA Championship at Kemper Lakes, Soon Yoon Park. The news, a service of Lowe's. If you're active or veteran U.S. military, Lowe's would like to honor your service by offering you 10% savings every day on purchases you make in-store or online. For details, visit lowes.com/military. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity, The Sean Hannity Show.
You effectively have just opened the borders, wide open borders. It doesn't solve the problem. And Congress doesn't want to do their job. Because if they really did, they could literally get it done in a day. If they really meant the things that they were saying, they would get it done for the sake of the children that they seem to care so much about.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joel Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Make your home an ADT home and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. Get our lowest rate for fast response monitoring, starting at just $28.99 a month. That's about $1 a day from the most trusted name in home security. Get ADT's tested, trusted, and proven security and service, now at a great value. Don't wait. Call today. ADT. Always there. Now everywhere. Requires 36-month monitoring contract. Early termination, taxes, and install fees apply. Certain markets excluded. See terms and pricing at ADT.com.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 3030 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 3030.
7:05. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Kevin Henry.
Thanks, Mike. Let's start on the tollways. Northbound Tri-State left lane blocking crash before Southwest Highway slows you back to 115th. Slow again from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt to North Avenue with a full westbound 290 ramp. 355 northbound a pocket from 55 to the Reagan, and then heavier from Finley to Roosevelt. You have an accident there on the left shoulder. Edens outbound slows Montrose to 2E23 up to Lake Cook. The inbound Kennedy 28 from O'Hare. 15 from the Junction Express, save you about 3. Outbound still recovering from an earlier crash. Slow Kimball to Bryn Mawr. 13 to Montrose, 32 to O'Hare. The inbound night costs you 40, outbound 33 minutes. Inbound on the Stevenson heaviest from Central to Kedzie, 46 from 355, outbound 37. Coming in on the Ryan takes you 30. The I-57 and Bishop Ford trips looking good. Northbound Lakeshore Drive tight from the Stevenson to Jackson. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Kevin Henry on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from your official Chicagoland weather forecast and the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with our meteorologist, Brian May.
Sunshine and patchy clouds today, high 86. A few clouds tonight, low 66. Sunshine tomorrow, high 89. Wednesday, some sunshine and humid with a thunderstorm around, high Wednesday, 90. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 70 at O'Hare, 68 along the lakefront. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J this morning, John Cass, Chicago Tribune columnist extraordinaire. And John, it's become a summer tradition, and it's back. It's rocking for the troops. It's happening on Saturday, July 14th, just a couple of weeks from now, at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva. I will be there along with Amy. The proceeds will benefit the great work of Operation Support Our Troops America as they provide support for our military men and women and their families. This year, Rockin' for the Troops, the concert features Seventh Heaven, Ayla Brown, Rocky Lynn, Ryan Weaver, and The Voices. And right now we have a pair of tickets for Rockin' for the Troops to give away to caller number, what, John? Which number caller? Pick a number, any number.
Number 3.
Number 3, caller number 3 to 312-733-6993. Again, the number 312-733-6993. Caller number 3 gets a pair of tickets to the Rockin' for the Troops concert Saturday, July 14th, Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva. You can also purchase tickets for just $25 at the box office at Northwestern Medicine Field, or go online to rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org. Thank you so much for supporting that concert. And for more details on that and their support of military families in Illinois, we're pleased to be joined by Bill Rickert, who is the Executive Director of Operation Support Our Troops America. Bill, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan and John. It's always great to be on The Answer.
So
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. We've enjoyed a good partnership with Operation Support Our Troops over the years and the good work that you guys do. But for folks in the listening audience that are unfamiliar with the support your organization provides to military men and women, why don't you detail that for us?
Sure. Well, people don't realize that we're still in over 70% of the world's countries, and our troops really need our support. So what we do, we have various programs. It all started out back in 2003, 15 years ago. My wife and I co-founded Operation Support Our Troops to mail some comfort and care packages to our troops for Valentine's Day when we first went into Afghanistan. So one of the programs we do is our comfort and care packages, and it's interesting. After 15 years, this year we'll hit our 2 millionth pound of sending care packages to our troops that are deployed overseas. Some of the other things we do, we have a great program called Leap of Faith. It's a program for Gold Star families that support how to deal with their grief. We put on a seminar for them, and then we also part of that seminar is how to deal with grief, and then at the end of the seminar, they take an actual leap of faith out of an airplane. It can't skydive jump. It's 14,000 feet with the Army Golden Knights. And some other programs we do, the other program we do is the Alan J. Lynch Medal of Honor Veterans Assistant Program, where we help our veterans in need, where they've exhausted a lot of their efforts, and we help them through that and really give them we call it a handout, not a handout, to help them progress, and whether it be with jobs, whether it be to help pay a utility bill, whatever it may be. So we do a lot of great work. We do that by funding and having Rockin' for the Troops.
I see a list of the following items you need on your flyer. You need iTunes gift cards, new DVDs, CDs, antibacterial wipes, and Sudoku. What is that? I don't get it. I was not in the military, but I'm just wondering.
Well, really, what we need,
maybe a different kind of magazine. I don't know.
Yeah, what we do, some of the items we need really, like like I said, wipes, peanut butter, Slim Jims, beef jerky is always a big item that we send our troops. We send a care package. It weighs anywhere between, I would say, 25 to 35 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That care package costs us approximately $25. So we say, hey, come to the event of Rockin' for the Troops for $25. Really what you're doing is you're helping mail a care package to our troops. It does cost us in postage. Last year alone, we spent over $125,000 alone just in postage to mail out our care packages.
So this is $25, all lawn tickets. People are supposed to bring their chairs and blankets, right?
It really is. It's a great event. It's a festival. It's a family-oriented event. You come, you bring your lawn chairs. Northwest Medicine Field, the music garden. It's the outfield area past the outfield of where the King County Cougars play. They have a great open field with a stage. You bring that. We'll have food vendors there. There'll be military things going on.
Beer.
As you mentioned, it's a day of celebration for our military. We have 5 bands playing. Gates open at 3. That's great.
Yeah, I was there last year. I rode my hog out there to see Leonard and Skinner. No, I didn't.
Yeah,
really, but I was out there.
Dog too,
I will. Dog. I will this time. It's not a fake dog. Don't call Hayek fake dog. He's a real dog. He's my best friend. It was a great concert last year, and a couple of those that were featured in the lineup last year are returning, including the Voices, which is great. Like they do Motown covers. That's their Motown cover band. Excellent.
Right.
And Ayla Brown, who's the daughter of one former United States Senator from Massachusetts named Scott Brown. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
great lineup. Great lineup. We have Rocky Lynn back. Also, he was there a few years ago. He's been a great supporter of the military, Gold Star families, and a lot of our veterans, the 101st Airborne, former 101st Airborne. So, yeah, it'll be a great lineup.
All right. The concert again, July 14th at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva, where King County Cougars play, as Bill mentioned. The website, rockinforthetroops.org, rockinforthetroops.org, to get tickets are just $25. It'll be a good time, good family gathering, and obviously a great cause. Bill, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your work and for making time for us.
Well, thanks, Dan and John, and we look forward to seeing Dan and Amy out there. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for your continued support. Take care.
Thanks, Bill. And he joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast for Chicago. Today, mostly sunny and less humid, high in the 86. Tonight, patchy clouds, low 65. Tomorrow, partly sunny, warm and more humid, high of 88. Wednesday, when I'm cooking those ribs, very warm and humid with some sun, a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. Now for the traffic, Kevin Henry.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Hey, Chicagoland, Dan Proft here. I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us, and Ryan just gets it. People are looking to buy a home right now. What do they do?
It's a great question, and it's a tight real estate market right now. I think most people know that, especially if you're actively looking to buy a house. Maybe you're on Zillow, Realtor.com, you got the apps on your phone, you're stalking them at work, and you're waiting for that right house to hit the market. Well, when it does, you better be pre-approved, and you better be pre-approved by a strong mortgage lender like the Home Loan Expert team. If you think you're the only one watching those same neighborhoods and watching those same streets, you're dead wrong. There's a lot of people out there waiting and watching. When that house hits the market, boom, goes under contract fast. Get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com, and you'll give yourself a big advantage when you do find that house. Go in there, get in there with your agent. You like it, write an offer, throw the pre-approval on the table. You should get an accepted contract. I'm Ryan Kelly, the Home Loan Expert. No one makes buying a home easier. Get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning, John Cass. And John, do you see in Trump Mussolini? That was one think piece in the Daily Beast. And it was also articulated on that important policy-making show involving public intellectuals. Bill Maher's Politically Incorrect. Have you heard of this? Michael Moore, no less, saying that we have to make our stand now, or it will be too late.
Where was the point where if we had all just risen up, right? If we just done something, but because it happens in little increments.
That's right. That's how fascism works.
That's how fascism works.
They do it in little.
And listen, we have a president.
We lose one norm a week.
We have a president who, by the way, was not elected by the people and constantly refers to himself.
Yes.
Constantly, he's referring to himself in the Third Reich.
You see what he did there? It was a play on words. Michael Moore went on to say Trump is going to win in 2020, and then he's going to suspend the Constitution and be president for life. That's just a fact. It's a fact that Trump is not going to willingly leave the White House. He is going to be president for life. He is a fascist dictator. The debate is over, John.
The Democratic Party is devouring itself. The left is devouring the Democratic Party, just like the corrupt establishment on the Republican side was devoured. That's what happens when you lie enough, and people think you're just a liar and a BSer. They walk away, and that's what's happened.
Are you concerned that Trump will not only win re-election, but will make himself president for life, like his friend Xi in China, like Putin? He is of the same as Xi and Putin at minimum.
He is going to win the 2020 election.
Even if he doesn't, he's not going to leave.
And he's not. I don't think
that's what you have to understand.
He won't leave after the second term if he doesn't have to, and nobody stops him. This man believes in being president for life.
Yes.
He said a few weeks ago, Roosevelt got 4 terms. Why can't I?
Yes.
Go down the whole. He loves President Xi, President Kim.
He's hot for
life.
dictators, baby.
He loves the dictators.
Loves the dictators. He is a dictator in the making. He is a slow-walking Mussolini. The debate is over. What are we going to do to stop this?
Well, I guess they're not going to stack the Supreme Court.
312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line. I mean, the fascist hysteria, first of all, of course, per most recently Jonah Goldberg's very good book, Liberal Fascism, but many arguments that predated him that are essentially the same. Fascism is a function of the left. If you see fascist activity, you see it in the cultural institutions in this country that are controlled by the left. You understand, fascism doesn't, people don't even know what fascism is, that are decrying Trump as a fascist. The complete subordination of business and cultural institutions to the state.
Yeah, that was called the Hillary Clinton campaign. Come on.
I mean,
right? I mean, secret meetings with the bankers. I'm going to give speeches. We're not going to release the transcripts. That's what it is. See, the left can't win arguments. It is about emotion, and it is about force. And the force comes from the use of government. And all these little chattering squirrels that they have on TV doing this stuff. All that is empowering, to use another phrase, this type of politics.
Well, the question, though, is can they cobble together enough of a scare story to regain the reins of power? Because that's what this is about. This is all a predicate to power, and they think this is the path. They clearly do. You saw that at these immigrant rights rallies around the country yesterday. Right. You heard it more on Bill Maher's show. They moved from Trump the fascist who's not going to leave office to, Trump being at part to blame for the Capitol Gazette shooting, the murder of 5 staff members of the Capitol Gazette in Annapolis yesterday. Listen to Jennifer Rubin, who was on one of the panel discussions, such as they are, on Bill Maher's show, the same show that they were saying we need to stop Trump now or it'll be too late.
The person who is fomenting violence the most is the President of the United States.
Incredible.
He turns the crowd on journalists, a hooting, hollering, screaming mass of people. He individually picks out journalists for them to direct their ire. He calls us the enemy of the people. He says that we are unpatriotic, that we do not love our country. And we're surprised when someone picks up
I feel it.
He is fomenting violence against the Fourth Estate, in addition to all of his other crimes against humanity that were sort of referenced generally without much specificity.
Let's be clear on this. I would not want him to be my neighbor. If I had President Trump on one side and Bill and Hillary Clinton and Schumer living in the cottage apartment on the other, I would just, basically walk. I'd leave the state. But what we're talking about here is this attitude of the left. What they do is drive people even closer to Trump. They're driving the average guy, the average person sees, oh, you don't want borders, you don't want ICE, you scream at everybody you don't like, you shame everybody. And on the other side, the economy's doing okay, I've got money in my pocket, and I think we need borders. Where are they going? Are they going to go get a big hug from Michael Moore? I don't think so.
Because you've had the improvement on some of the areas that you mentioned, what they need to generate enthusiasm and they need to generate turnout.
Correct.
And they need to, and the only way they know how to do that is through their shame mobs.
But by doing that, they expose themselves even more to the independents and the just regular folks, especially in the Midwest.
Well,
it's just a party of the coasts and people with money, some of whom wrap themselves up in cellophane like mummies and then die mysteriously over the weekend.
Sure. I mean, that's the way I want to go. Here's the thing. The Capital Gazette, they issued an editorial over the weekend thanking the people who have expressed their sympathies for this horrific event that occurred, the murder of 5 members of their staff, which is horrific. And they also wrote, though, in the editorial, here's what we won't forget: death threats and emails from people we don't know celebrating our loss. Well, that's obscene and absurd. Or the people who called for one of our reporters to get fired because she got angry and cursed on national television after witnessing her friends get shot. We won't forget being called an enemy of the people. No, we won't forget that. Because
that sounds like a threat, doesn't it?
Sort of. Because exposing evil, shining light on wrongs, and fighting injustice is what we do.
Okay,
is that what
they're supposed to do?
Is that what the Fourth Estate does these days?
The Fourth, when there was a Tribune Tower, every day I'd walk in. There was one quote carved on the wall over the door on the way to the elevators. It was from Lord Macaulay. Where there is a free press, the governors must live in constant awe of the opinions of the governed. That's what I believe in. But the problem with this, it's accepting them, because I'll give them the break because they just had a tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll give those people a break.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is when the institution of journalism becomes a vengeful angel, an angel of revenge for political loss that they couldn't explain because they didn't see things properly. They didn't see 2016 properly. They couldn't see Hillary Clinton as the Dowager Empress of a discredited political center. And they became so enraged and upset over the loss that they advocated resistance.
Well, this is why I call it the big government press corps. Not just because they're flacks for big government, but because they act like big government. What's one of the features of big government? They want to get everybody in the rent-seeking game. And so that's what so much of the press corps has become, which is we use our resources as a shield for our friends, our ideological fellow travelers, and as a sword for our political enemies.
Is that not being done from conservative publications?
Well, I would say I would say that it is.
Right.
But the difference is in most of those cases, transparency. I'm not coming to the table pretending to be someone without worldview, someone without opinion on these matters. I'm not pretending, and it is pretend. I'm not pantomiming objective scrivener of the passing events. It's listen to Capital Gazette. Because exposing evil, shining light on wrongs, and fighting injustice is what we do. Well, that's a very nice flowery statement, but there is a lot embedded in terms of judgment calls, in terms of what is injustice, what is evil, what are wrongs. And those are sort of, we may come to agreement on some, we may disagree on others. They pretend that they are pursuers of the truth rather than pursuers of policies in advance of a particular worldview, and they've become the latter.
The fact is that I don't think many understand the difference. They think they're doing the right thing. And they think they're doing the right thing with a sort of zeal that kind of concerns me. And it's why shortly after
if you
Trump
disagree
and
with...
again, I'm not,
well,
I wanted Rand Paul and Bernie Sanders in a one-on-one.
I get it, but
right.
but here's the thing where I just can't give them as much quarter as you're giving them, because the idea that because you disagree with me, you are a representative of something unjust is intellectually feeble, and it is the repository of someone who believes they are the truth. And that
you talk often
and
about
there should be pushback. That's right.
You talk often about sentimental barbarian, right?
Yes.
And when we lend ourselves to our emotions rather than just try to reason things out and understand that publications will have political points of view, it becomes dangerous. It does. It becomes dangerous. But what bothers me is the Republic at no time, as this center collapses on both sides, the Republic needs to have journalism that is understood and respected as an honest broker. And what they've done by adopting whoever made that call for revolution or resistance, remember, the fellow from the New York Times right away, that led to the unbelievable excesses.
The suspension of standards, because it's all about stopping this president.
Yes, and therefore people don't believe in it anymore. So people say, when he says fake news, there are many people who say, yeah, I saw the Time magazine cover. That is fake news. And that hurts the Republic. So the people that are carrying water for Democrats or Republicans are hurting their country and their Republic by playing that game.
Coming up, Ben Shapiro on that same Maher show, since we're breaking that show down this morning, says he's open to the idea of Trump's impeachment. We'll discuss at 7:37 after we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
73 degrees. We have partly cloudy skies, and we're tracking developments in Cleveland, Ohio this morning, where FBI agents say they have thwarted a 4th of July terror attack on downtown Cleveland. Suspect has been charged with attempted material support of a foreign terror organization. No details exactly have been released, but an ongoing press conference is continuing. Again, no major details even coming out of that press conference at this time, other than a suspect has been charged and an attack has been thwarted. A notorious French criminal is on the run after a daring helicopter escape from prison. NBC News Radio's Lucy Kavanaugh has the details from France.
46-year-old Redouane Faïd was reportedly in the visitor's room meeting one of his brothers when heavily armed gunmen landed the chopper in the prison yard, busting in and whisking him out.
He escaped. Authorities later found the burnout remains of that helicopter. It's Faïd's second escape from prison. In 2013, he got away after taking 4 guards hostage, but was captured 6 weeks later. Oil prices are down as Saudi Arabia this morning and Russia increased output. International benchmark Brent crude was at $78.70 a barrel. West Texas intermediate crude down a nickel. Charges pending against a man accused of causing a deadly car crash over the weekend on Chicago's South Side. Hundreds of thousands of minimum wage workers in Chicago get a wage hike, the city mandating a jump to $12 an hour yesterday. Add Springfield and Peoria to the list of cities with immigration protests. Marchers in Chicago rallied, and along with those 2 other cities over the weekend. Cubs beat the Twins 11-10 at Wrigley, while the White Sox beat the Rangers 10-5 in Arlington. And a bit of an exciting first few days of free agency for the Blackhawks, adding goalie Cam Ward, forward Chris Kunitz, and defenseman Brandon Manning. The news service of Lowe's. If you're active or veteran U.S. military personnel, Lowe's would like to honor your service by offering you 10% savings every day on the purchases you make in-store or online. For details, visit Lowe's.com/military. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. It can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee, period.
You've heard us say if your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
Also, if your gutters, siding, windows, or entry door is needy,
call Crumweedy.
What's that all about?
This is Mark Olson
and Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy.
We created a special deal just for you. Replace your roof and receive free gutters. Or replace the siding or windows on your home and receive a free entry door.
We'll do a great job, and you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that is up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact.
And get free gutters or an entry door as a thank you. Some restrictions apply, and this special won't last long.
We fix roof, siding, and window problems. We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you. If your home is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Kevin Henry.
Thanks, Mike. On CTA's Blue Line, Forest Park-bound train seeing delays after an earlier mechanical problem at Addison. Out in Elmhurst, an accident at Grand and York. The Eden's inbound clear, outbound almost a half hour, heavy out to Toohey. Kennedy in from O'Hare, 28, 18 from the Junction Express, only save you 2. Outbound trip is heavy after Montrose out to Bryn Mawr, 30 to O'Hare. The inbound Ike, 39 from 390, 26 from Manheim, slow Cicero in. Outbound jam Central to 25th, 34 to Manheim, 47 to 390. The inbound Stevenson, your heaviest pocket from Central to Kedzie, 52 from 355, 38 from the Tri-State. Outbound takes you 36 back to 355. Traffic is a service of Aruba Tourism. Be one happy family on one happy island. Vacation in sunny Aruba with accommodations to fit every family size and budget. Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your happy escape to Aruba today at aruba.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Kevin Henry on AM 560, The Answer.
Kevin, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny, less humid, high 86 today. We'll be back in the 90s midweek, and by Friday, perfect. Partly sunny, not as warm, a high of 81 with lower humidities. 70 right now. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
He was the first press secretary for President Trump. He had a front row seat to history, and he wasn't afraid to punch back at the Washington press corps. And he was also parodied by Melissa McCarthy. And now Sean Spicer has a new book coming out. It's called The Briefing. In the book, he reveals what really happened behind the scenes during some of the most headline-grabbing moments of the campaign and the turbulent first year of the Trump administration. And Sean Spicer, Spicy, is coming to Chicago for an event that AM 560 is hosting. It's happening Wednesday, August 8th at the Museum of Broadcast Communications on State Street. It's being presented by healthinsurancementors.com. And the cost of the event, well, absolutely free. No cost to come meet Sean Spicer, hear him talk about his experiences with the Trump campaign and Trump administration, and pick up a signed copy of his new book. Tickets are limited. You must register to get your tickets. Just go to 560theanswer.com/briefing. Again, 560theanswer.com/briefing. And here's the bonus. Your free ticket also gets you access to the Saturday Night Live exhibit at the Museum of Broadcast Communications. So you can check that out before you meet Sean Spicer. Again, August 8th, get your free tickets to his book signing at 560theanswer.com/briefing. John, we're all journalists now. That was what some were saying in the wake of the Capitol Gazette murders last week, Thursday.
Yeah.
Of course, those same journalists didn't say we were all gay nightclub patrons in the wake of the Pulse shooting. They didn't
say we were all Republican congressmen after the crazy lefty guy from Illinois
opened fire on the softball
it's
game.
Virtue signaling. That's why I go to the Garden.
We weren't all municipal employees when those 14 people were murdered in San Bernardino, California. It's not just virtue signaling; it's a level of self-indulgence. They like the politicians they flag for think they exist above other people.
Higher moral plane.
Yes.
They're better to lead us.
And what about Chicago violence, which is endemic and a daily affair over the weekend? More
children shot down.
Right. More. What was the headline in the AFL-CIO Times?
There was. You mean the Ram Times?
Yeah. Okay. AKA.
Yeah, they had one headline: "City violence, violence down. Authorities say," and the other headline was
"Authorities say,"
or something like that. Maybe. It was,
of course they do.
Superintendent says, and then the next headline was 6 shot.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to laugh. I'm not laughing about the
which actually may be a reduction. Only 6 were shot. And now are we all young black men now because of the violence that happens every weekend in Chicago?
Those are the people that are most forgotten, and they're forgotten by not only those who decry violence, but also by those the violence issue begets the not enough economic opportunity. Not enough jobs.
More government.
More government. But you know what they forget? That if there are no borders, then people come in from places where they're willing to work for a lot less money than minimum wage, and those people get the jobs. So there's a lot of nonsense and BS.
Well, there's a lot of dots that never get connected,
right.
And in part because the left has done such a good job caricaturing people who are not of the left as racist, right?
Well,
so
that's what I am, aren't you?
Yeah, well, that's how they're caricaturing us.
Nazis, that's how they paint me.
So black families say, "Oh, well, I'm not going to even entertain the idea of a party to which Dan Proft or John Cass affiliates because they don't like me, even if the policies that the party that I am affiliated with are negatively impacting me and forever, in many cases, keeping me in a forever dependent state." So this is a real problem.
70 years of Democratic rule in Chicago, what has it gotten you?
Well, one person who hasn't forgotten about Chicago violence is Father Flager, Father, quotation marks. He is having
He's a priest.
Correct. He's a Catholic priest. Yeah. He is...
Has the bishop gotten rid of it? Has he been defrocked? No.
No, he has not.
He's a Catholic priest. And there's been a lot of criticism about him.
Yes. He's got this event coming up on July 7th.
Saturday.
Right, this Saturday. He's going to shut down the Dan Ryan,
Completely wrong.
And then violence is going to come to an end.
Completely wrong. He should shut it down on Monday.
Monday the 9th.
When everyone's driving back, when Rahm and everybody's driving back from Grand Beach and Union Pier, you shut it down at 7 a.m. Monday and see what happens. That's when he should shut it down.
Elaborate. Why?
I'm not. Look, is Father Flager, is he a kind of a publicity hound? Yes. Okay.
What a concession.
Kind of? Yeah.
Kind of.
All right, he is.
Oh.
But you know what? All right, so he's a broken clock. He's still right twice a day. And one thing he's right about is people need to be engaged about this. This is not, the Dan Ryan, shutting down the Dan Ryan is not like you're shutting Halsted and Belmont down. You're shutting the Dan Ryan down. So
what if you shut down Green Bay Road north of Evanston? Would that help?
I don't mind where he shuts it down, but Halsted and the Dan Ryan shutting it down near his church, walking right down 79th Street. They should go to 59th Street where the Skyway comes in to prevent Rom from getting to work on time. I could just see Rom and Amy in the car. Oh, Rom, what's going on?
Nobody does an Amy Rule impersonation like you do. I mean, that is spot on. That is very good.
Like a Mary Tyler Moore, Amy Rule thing.
I've seen her at the Women's Athletic Club because, I'm sort of a crossover artist, so I'm invited to dine with the ladies at the WAC.
I can see you doing that.
And I found her delightful.
She is nice.
No, I don't know.
And funny.
And
she makes a green drink that Ram doesn't like.
Well, so you are I'm trying to kind of define this. You're supportive in theory of what Pfleger is doing.
I really don't. You know what? There are kids getting shot all over the place in this city, and I hear conservatives on this, this show, meaning you, and others, and people that listen to you and read my column, and they're all screaming at Pfleger, or a lot of them, and they're saying Pfleger shouldn't do this. It's terrible. You know what? Somebody should do it. Who's doing it? The black alderman? I don't see that. You see Rom doing it? No. He's busy playing Mayor Zorro, cunning and free, like the Fox. A Latino mayor alderman. A Latino mayor Zorro. Somebody has to do it. I just think I don't think it's a little inconvenience compared to the inconvenience of people whose children are shot off their porches. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to focus people's attentions on it. Did I just turn liberal now?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We have Father Pfleger's PR director in studio today taking your questions about the upcoming Shut Down the Dan Ryan event this Saturday. Do you agree with John Cass that hey, it's Father Pfleger may be an imperfect messenger, but the message is important.
And do it Monday.
So that Rom is interrupted on his way back from work. But I thought he took the L.
You can't take the L from Union Pier. Maybe Elon Musk can make him a pneumatic tube and shoot him across Lake Michigan.
That would be fun.
From Union Pier.
That'd actually be fun to watch.
Yeah.
With respect to Pfleger, though,
leave him alone.
Well, but don't you? I understand your desire to highlight the issue and continue to beat the drum of accountability for those in charge of the city, but do you see the midnight vigils and the marches and the demagoguery that comes from the like of Pfleger as counterproductive? Does it really engage more people, or do people just kind of roll their eyes because they've seen this dance so many times before?
All right, listen. During when Ferguson, Missouri was burning and people were rioting, and there were all the white activists going down there because there's nothing like rich white middle class kids. I'm sure children of journalists running down to protest in a black neighborhood. When that was happening, there was a little boy on the south side. His name was Antonio Smith. He was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He saw some gangbangers trying to shoot some other people, and he warned them. He was chased down and murdered in the backyard. A little 9-year-old kid. And Father Pfleger, to his credit, I talked to him. He said, why are people going down to Ferguson, Missouri? Why aren't they here demanding that justice be done for this child? And you know what? I've been a critic of Father Pfleger's, and I'm not going to be his PR guy. And I know that he's publicity hound. But I remember that. He stood up for that little boy. No one else did because it wasn't in their politics to do so. And he did. That's all I'm saying.
Bill on the south side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, John, what a disappointment you are. You sound like one of the emotional ninnies on the left that you were just criticizing.
Really?
Come up with
Ninny?
come up with.
What are we branding people? Are you like a conservative who decided to be like a shamer? Shame
No,
me,
I'm
my
not.
friend.
You're going through an emotional catharsis. It does nothing. Shutting down the Dan Ryan does nothing. In fact, it might cause harm to people in harm's way. Why don't you come up with a plan with the police superintendent to put the thugs in jail?
Thanks.
That would take a plan, and that might upset certain people. Please, John, get ahead.
Thanks for the call, Bill.
Bill, because I'm such a leftist, I'm really working on their behalf. Let's come on, bring it. I'm standing here now. Everyone, bring it to me. Let's hear it.
Oh, it'll get brought in, but hold on a second. Just want to make mention, since you brought up Ferguson, there's a good piece in the Amazon Post, of all places, The Forgotten Ferguson, 4 years after the riots. Other corporations jumps in with multi-million-dollar commitments to help rebuild the majority black town that became a global symbol of racial and economic inequality. But 4 years after the unrest, nearly all of the new development is concentrated in the more prosperous and whiter parts of town, bypassing the predominantly black southeast neighborhood where Brown was fatally shot by a police officer while walking to his grandmother's home. That's a very stylized version of events. Of course, it's the Amazon Post. But nonetheless, they can't escape the forgotten Ferguson and by the way, Starbucks, the lead virtue signaling corporation in America, is at the head of the list as the liars when it came to reinvesting and rebuilding Ferguson, that particular section of Ferguson. So I just point that out because what the demagogues like Flager and the political ruling class of the left in this city and state,
of whom I'm, according to you, flacking for.
No, I'm kidding.
Come
but
on, man.
I'm kidding on that. But this is what they do. They virtue signal on the front end and hope you never pay attention to what occurs on the back end.
Well, that's when you have newspapers to hold people to account.
Yeah, right.
As people like to say.
Ken in Plainfield.
Yeah, as the hero of the left, Hillary, likes to say, what difference will it make? Nothing's going to change, like the last caller said, unless you get the police involved, which Father Flager will rail against. Nothing's going to change. So it won't make a difference if they shut down the Rhine, if they shut down every expressway in Chicago. It won't make a difference.
He might get involved
Thanks for the call, Ken.
If his bodyguard without portfolio gets arrested or something like that, but that's another story. Like, why not get people involved by holding City Hall and Mayor Rahm Emanuel to account for how this police department is deployed, funded, and run?
Yeah, but that's not. But Flager's march isn't going to accomplish that.
I guess sitting back and just picking blueberries in Michigan does.
Frank in Canaryville.
Hi, Dan and John. John, I have to side with you. I can tell you're a Republican. I'm a little bit more of a dumb Republican, but I have marched with Father Flager, and he does some positive things. Mixed feelings about Jesse Jackson, who pockets a lot of money. But Father Flager offers some of these vice lords and these gangbangers down there with jobs and things of that nature. So I have to side with you, John.
All right, thanks for the call, Frank.
It's kind of a sarcastic call.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that was sarcastic, but I mean, how's it going in the St. Sabina's neighborhood 30 years after Flager's antics?
I remember Father Flager buying crack pipes years ago. And a young priest saying, "Father, we made Time magazine." And I looked at a cop who was bodyguarding Father Flager, and the police officer looked and said, "Fighting crack, one pipe at a time."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
so, I know that there's PR nonsense.
Like you said, he's kind of a publicity hound.
All right. But that's his job as a priest of the people, Dan.
Phil in Deerfield.
Good morning, John. I'm not sure why you're picking Monday. I'm going with either tomorrow or Friday, 4:15 in the afternoon.
People getting out of town or going to the airport.
Yeah.
They're going. They're not.
Yeah.
Where are they going?
Much better.
What airport?
Thanks, Phil.
On the Ryan.
Well.
What airport? Are they going to the Crete airport?
No, the Ryan to 55 to go to Midway.
Oh, all right.
That's how I do it. Megan on the south side.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
yeah,
Meg.
John, I agree with you about Father Flager, trying to do something good here, but it's just a stunt. We all know it's not going to produce any results. If he really wanted to do something, he should march, close down the Dan Ryan to try to bring some industry to the south side. Companies, Emmanuel wants to bring Amazon to some nice neighborhood in Chicago, bring it down south. We'll take it down here. We'd love to have that.
Thanks for the call, Megan.
Jobs, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing, the real answer, of course, is that the collective denizens of Chicago have to be animated enough to change out their civilian political leadership, and there's no evidence that there's great interest there.
Just having people down ringing City Hall is just with a tired news camera, and no real reporter covering it. That's so 80s. Okay. Shut down, why not either go to the mayor's house or shut down Dan Ryan both ways? Both ways.
Flager on one side and the Chicago Press Corps on the other.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, this is Ricky from Banyan Hill. I want to get a few things straight. First off, I like freedom. Second, I like money. Fact is, I like freedom and money, which is why I love Freedom Checks, a unique investment that can secure your retirement income without being tied down to the government. And while I'm no genius, I am smart enough to follow an expert like Matt, who showed me how anyone has the chance to stake their claim on an estimated $34.6 billion payout. To get all the details from Matt, just go to freedomchecks123.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri who's set to get a check for $24,075. Now, how much your check is depends on how much you put behind Matt's insights, but the potential here is undeniable. Of course, if you want the chance to grab your full fair share of this $34.6 billion, you must have your ducks in a row ASAP. So don't wait. Go see Matt at freedomchecks123.com. That's www.freedomchecks123.com.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
The 4th of July is Independence Day. Be a patriot. Declare your independence from Big Mobile. Break free from Big Mobile's hidden fees, line charges, and complicated pricing. Start celebrating simplicity with Patriot Mobile, where pricing is simple and straightforward. Patriot covers switching and installment fees as a contract credit, up to $1,500 per account when you join. But the best part is a portion of each Patriot's bill contributes vital donations to conservative organizations that fight for our freedom. This month, enjoy a new Motorola E4 or an E4 Plus smartphone for only $4 a month. Save over 40% on terrific water-resistant phone, perfect for the summer, and help bring about conservative change. Independence has never sounded so liberating. Don't wait. This offer is only available while supplies last. Make the switch today by calling 1-800-A-PATRIOT or by visiting www.patriotmobile.com/you. Again, that's 1-800-A-PATRIOT or www.patriotmobile.com/you. Be a patriot. Switch today. Start making conservative change happen every time you use your cell phone. Patriot Mobile, your new cellular resource for patriotism.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Are you behind in your mortgage, facing foreclosure, being given the runaround on a loan modification application by some bank or servicer? Well, you're not alone, but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've put together a team to help distressed homeowners like you. Give us a call. We give everyone who's eligible a free consultation. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He hasn't made up his mind yet. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump has it down to a handful of possible Supreme Court nominees.
A candidate for this important position who would overturn Roe v. Wade would not be acceptable to me.
Senator Susan Collins on ABC's This Week. The pro-choice Republican could be a key vote in the confirmation.
He's not asking people specific questions on cases.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, says the president's looking for someone faithful to the Constitution. The announcement will be next Monday. President Trump's longtime personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, has talked to ABC News months after being raided by the FBI. He says he'll put his family first. Cohen's been under scrutiny over the payment he made to porn star Stormy Daniels over an alleged sexual encounter with Donald Trump years before he was elected. That's a celebration in Mexico after a leftist won the presidential election in a landslide. Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador vowing to root out corruption in Mexico. A Rhode Island police officer is in a hospital after being shot early this morning in Woonsocket, hit in the leg. He's in good condition. The suspected gunman is reportedly cornered in a parking lot. Someone wanted to attack Cleveland on the 4th of July. And in a few minutes, the FBI will detail the arrest of somebody charged with supporting a terror group. Cleveland has just lost the NBA's biggest star again. LeBron James leaving for the second time. Fox's Jared Max has more live.
Dave, unlike his much ballyhooed decision 9 summers ago when on a national TV special he announced he would take his talents to South Beach, this time the news broke on Twitter Sunday night. LeBron's agency announced the 4-time NBA most valuable player, 3-time Finals MVP, 2-time Olympic gold medalist will sign a 4-year contract worth $154 million to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron showed his gratitude to the Cavaliers and their fan base in his home state, writing on Instagram, "Thank you, Northeast Ohio, for an incredible 4 years. This will always be home." Dave?
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Partly cloudy skies, 73 degrees. It's 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. No one is in custody after 3 underage sisters were among 6 wounded in a shooting on Chicago's West Side. Police say the group was walking in the 3400 block of West Walnut when a person jumped out of a vehicle and fired the shots. 6 remain hospitalized, including a 5-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 15-year-old. Panic buttons will now be provided to employees at all Chicago hotels. The ordinance went into effect yesterday, requiring city hotels to supply those portable panic buttons to housekeeping staff so they can send out alerts when they feel threatened. Authorities have identified the man killed in a pileup crash over the weekend in Elk Grove Village. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says Giuseppe Gazzano was killed as a result of injuries suffered in a wreck involving a dump truck and 5 other vehicles near Arlington Heights and Cosman Roads. It may soon be easier for out-of-state and retired teachers to get back into an Illinois classroom. Governor Bruce Rauner signs a new law saying it will help end the state's teacher shortage. The plan would also make it easier for retired teachers to work as subs by extending how many days they can teach without threatening their pension. Cubs beat the Twins 11-10. Sox over the Rangers 10-5 in Arlington. At 8:03, it's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, drug maker Pfizer is raising prices on 100 products. The increases went into effect yesterday. Most medications on the list will cost you 9% more. Pfizer says it also lowered the price of 5 medications by up to 44%. Online business news site Quartz is being sold to Japanese media firm Uzabase. The Wall Street Journal says it's paying between $75 and $110 million. Quartz was founded just 6 years ago. Dell Technologies is buying out holders that own tracking stock of its software business VMware. After it completes the deal, Dell will go public again, offering stock on the New York Stock Exchange. VM shareholders will own up to 31% of Dell. The Dow added 55 on Friday, NASDAQ up 6, S&P gained 2. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Make your home an ADT home and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. Get our lowest rate for fast response monitoring, starting at just $28.99 a month. That's about $1 a day from the most trusted name in home security. Get ADT's tested, trusted, and proven security and service, now at a great value. Don't wait. Call today. ADT. Always there. Now everywhere. Requires 36-month monitoring contract. Early termination, taxes, and install fees apply. Certain markets excluded. See terms and pricing at ADT.com.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 3030 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 3030.
Your business's finances are very personal. It's the determining factor on the course you'll take for your family and your employees. But what happens when you're reaching a phase when you need advice? You want to turn to an expert, but who can you trust? Look for someone who is both knowledgeable and involved in the community, like Fred O'Connor of Northwestern Mutual. Fred has worked from Wall Street to Europe in the financial industry, but his calling as an engaged civic leader speaks to the earnest trust Fred has gained over his 30 years serving businesses and the families that run them. Fred serves on the board of the 100 Club of Chicago, the Big Shoulders Fund, and the Irish Fellowship Club. Fred can help you manage risk and plan for your goals, such as rewarding key people and strategies for business exit. Visit FredO'Connor.com to learn more about Fred's services and how he can take your business to the next level. That's FredO'Connor.com. Northwestern Mutual is the marketing name for the Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fred O'Connor is an insurance agent of NM.
It is 8:06, and let's get an update on the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Kevin Henry.
Mike, we have a crash in Zion. It's at 27th and Lewis. And in Naperville, they have that Rib Fest set up closing Martin from west to Brom. Should be open by next Wednesday. The Edens inbound, no delays. 19 outbound, almost a half hour. Slow Montrose most of the way to Skokie. The inbound Kennedy takes you 34 from O'Hare, 24 from the Junction Express, only saving you 2 minutes. 11 back to the Junction, 36 to O'Hare. The inbound Ike actually getting better. Slow St. Charles to the Tri-State on the extension. Costner to the Burn for 40-minute trip from 390. 26 from Manheim out to Manheim at 27. 46 out to 390. The inbound Stevenson, 50 minutes. Heaviest between Central and Kedzie. Outbound 40. Coming in on the Ryan at 36. Traffic is a service of Aruba Tourism. Be one happy family on one happy island. Vacation in sunny Aruba with accommodations to fit every family size and budget. Up a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your happy escape to Aruba today at Aruba.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Kevin Henry on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Brian May.
Sunshine and patchy clouds today, high 86. A few clouds tonight, low 66. Partly sunny tomorrow, high 89. Wednesday turning out partly sunny and humid with a thunderstorm around, high 90. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
72 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer. Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday afternoons at 4.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and John Cass, Chicago Tribune columnist extraordinaire, in for Amy this morning, and play a little game in advance of bringing our friends, the First Ladies of Punditry, Diamond and Silk, on the program. Can you distinguish between protesters from around the nation yesterday, the immigrant rights protesters, versus Democrat U.S. senators? The overriding theme of these protests, including one in Chicago that had between 15 and 20,000 people, according to media reports. The forward theme, the marketed theme, was families together. The actual theme was abolish ICE. U.S. senator or protester?
I see the don't have ICE.
A heart of ice.
A heart of ice. So there you go. Tell me why it was important for you girls to be out here, and tell me why this anti-ICE chant has been so predominant throughout the rally today.
Well, because ICE is basically a terrorist organization, and we're a peace organization. And it's beyond a terrorist organization. What is it to take a nursing baby from the breast of her mother is a level of insanity and cruelty that's kind of hard to even think about.
Protester or U.S. Senator, Democrat U.S. Senator, John?
That's got to be a senator.
That's a protester.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
You would think the senators would be making signs. They fell just short of that. All right, we'll give you one more chance.
We need to rebuild our immigration system from top to bottom, starting by replacing ICE with something that reflects our morality.
Now be careful, this is sort of a trick question.
Protester or senator?
Yeah, Democrat senator.
I'd say that sounds so unhinged, it can't be someone in the Senate.
It's both. It's like Schrodinger's cat. It's both alive and dead. Elizabeth Warren, professional protester, also technically a member of the U.S. Senate.
Pocahontas.
All right, let's give you one more. All right, one more.
All right, let's try it again.
Look at ICE. What a group of incompetents. At this point, they're focused more on toddlers than terrorists. They want to, instead of deporting felons, they want to deport families that are being persecuted by criminal gangs. We're in the middle of the worst drug epidemic in our history, and instead of focusing on stopping bad drugs from coming in and stopping dirty drug money from going out, they're focusing on separating kids from their families.
All right, what girl was that?
Alliteration, natural to a poet. I would say it's got to be a protester because they want to stop drugs, but then they want to get rid of ICE. How could you stop drugs if you get rid of ICE? So it's got to be a protester, some unhinged wackadoodle of the left.
Well, you're right on the last descriptor. He is the senior senator from Illinois, Dick Durbin, of course.
Oh.
For more on, and by the way, Trump is looking forward to more of this inability to distinguish protesters from Democrat senators, saying over the weekend in an interview with Maria Bartiromo, you want to abolish ICE, Democrat senators? Please, keep it going.
I'm just going to say that. Yeah. The 28-year-old socialist that just beat out Joe Crowley says abolish ICE, and get this, more Democrats are getting in line with that. Kirsten Gillibrand today saying we need to abolish ICE.
Well, I hope they keep thinking about it because they're going to get beaten so badly.
Yeah, for more on this topic, now we're pleased to be joined by the First Ladies of Punditry, hosts of The Viewer's View, former Facebook users, Diamond and Silk. Diamond and Silk, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Now, you still haven't gotten all squared away with Mark Zuckerberg, or what's the story there?
Oh, absolutely not. We just had a conversation with Facebook a couple of days ago, and they were supposed to get back to us. They haven't done that. They always dropping the ball. They were supposed to email us back. They haven't done that. So they do what they do best, drop the ball until somebody calls them out. That's what they do.
That's right.
All right. Well, you're here with us now, so let's get your views on what you saw over the weekend with the protests around the country. What the president has said about those on the left who want to abolish ICE. If you want to make that a litmus test for this election, then go ahead. It's not going to work out well for you.
Well, you know what? First of all, when I look at the protesters, all I see is hypocrites. Because where was the protest when Obama had children in cages wrapped up in foil? There was no protest, but yet they want to protest now because they feel like, oh my gosh, families are being separated. Well, what about the families what about the American families that were separated up under the Clinton administration when he signed that crime bill into law? What about the millions of families that separated when they enticed them to get welfare, yet families have to be split because the father cannot be in the home to receive it? What about black families being separated? Yet you want to cry about illegal aliens. When you cross that border illegally, you are an illegal alien. You are committing a crime. If you are running for asylum, if you are seeking asylum, if you are running from these countries where things are happening, then you need to go to the ports of entry, not commit crimes. And shame on protesters for taking up for people that's committing crimes in this country. And guess what? These Democrats and the left have already shown who their allegiance is to. They love these illegal aliens and MS-13 gang members. And it's time, if you are a Democrat, it's time for you not to just walk away, but run and run like hell.
And it's really, really, really amazing that these protesters are in the streets marching and screaming about babies being snatched from their mother's breast, but not concerned about babies being snatched from their mother's womb.
Just think about that for a minute. I call it all hypocrisy. They're doing this to defy this president is what they're doing. He's followed the same law as Obama, Bill Clinton. Nobody said anything. And he gave them what they wanted. He signed an executive order so that families won't be separated, and they're still out in the streets marching. And any of these so-called lawmakers who want to abolish ICE, maybe it's time to abolish them by voting them out.
That's right.
Because we can't have a country where we're lawless, where we're uncivilized, where there's no law and order. We can't have a country, and it seems like they want to move our country that way.
And how is this fair to American citizens? You know, when an American citizen commit a crime, they're given 3 hots and a cop behind a locked cell block after they've taken their mud shot, and they are separated from their children.
That was a nice riff. I like that last one. All right, go ahead.
Well, wait, ladies, what about, I think, are you maybe overdoing it? Because
overdoing what?
Well, wait a minute.
Please don't tell us. Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Please don't tell us that we're overdoing it when we see millions of American families have been separated. Well, if you are an American and you commit a crime in this country, they lock you up and they don't give a hoot about your child. They throw your child in foster care. Yet we are so concerned. Everybody is so, oh my gosh, they're breaking up families. They're breaking up families. Well, do you know that these people are committing crimes when they cross our borders like that?
Wait a minute.
Do you know that? Does that count for anything?
Wait a minute.
How do you think we feel as Americans? You let other people break the laws when they come over here, but we can't break those laws.
Are you suggesting, let me get this straight, are you suggesting that Democrats care more about the feelings of illegal immigrants than they do African Americans who've lived in the...
Oh, absolutely. I'm not suggesting it. It is the truth. I don't have to suggest anything. That is the truth. Let me tell you something. Okay, let me just go back to this point. As an African American, whenever you allow illegal aliens to cross our borders and run amok in our country, you know who it severely affects? It severely affects African Americans. It takes their jobs. A lot of Americans can't even get jobs in certain part of our country because they don't speak Spanish. That's wrong. Put Americans first. And yes, I will stand up in front of all of those liberal faces and tell them they are wrong. You need to start worrying about the American people first. People should not commit crimes. If you are running, if you are seeking asylum, go to the ports of entry, not just cross our borders and commit a crime.
And here's another good point. You know, I hear them talking about these kids should not be in detention centers, but you got American children living in tents without running water.
Well, now wait
Why
a second.
not be concerned about American children?
Yeah. Right. Now I understand those detention centers. I think we're not supposed to call them that. We're supposed to call them concentration camps.
You can call it what you want. All I know is that whenever you cross their border, when you go to their country and cross their border, they march your behind, turn you right back around, or put you in jail.
That's right.
When people come to this country and they commit a crime, they need to be deported back to their own country.
What they're trying to do is turn this into a socialized country. They want to make this a globalized nation where everybody just walk in. That is not good. And the reason why that's not good because everybody don't have your morals and your values. They don't follow that. And you get somebody up in here running things, you'll be doing stuff you never thought you would have been doing in your life. You've got to be real cautious. But everybody should look at the Democratic Party. You need to see it's time for you to pick a side. Because these people clearly do not care about Americans. They care about illegal aliens and gang members. That's who they care about.
Now, Diamond and Silk, just switching gears, I want to get your take on whether or not you think President Trump should be impeached for his role in the Capitol Gazette shooting and those 5 murders, because according to the left, his rhetoric is at least partly responsible for what led to those murders.
Well, you know what? If the very fake news want to blame Trump for what happened in Maryland, then why not blame Obama? Because this guy had a vendetta. He was irritated. He was mad with these people back in 2011. That's when all of this stuff started. Shame on the very fake news of the left for blaming a sitting president for this foolishness. Let me tell you something. The American people think that they're the fake news. They are fake. Anytime you take and you sensationalize a story, you sensationalize a story to get a reaction out of people when you know it's not the truth, it's a half-truth, it's not the whole truth. You are the very fake news. You fake as hell, fake as you want to be. I'll call you fake.
You mean like Connor Berry, the former reporter at the Massachusetts, the Republican newspaper Massachusetts, that tweeted out that the shooter at the Capitol Gazette offices wore a MAGA hat when he did his shooting, which of course was untrue. Like that would be an example.
Did he get fired? Did somebody get fired for that?
He did get fired, or he resigned.
He should have gotten fired for that.
Right.
Because that's spreading fake news. That's sensationalizing a story is what that's doing, and that you don't do. You know, I look at the news. They talk about this man. They talk about our president every day, all day. If this narrative don't stick, they spin another narrative. If that narrative don't stick, they spin another narrative. People are tired of that. People are tired of that. So, no, our president should not be blamed. Shame on them for blaming him for what happened down there. It's that guy's fault that went up in there and did the actions, not our president.
All right. Diamond and Silk, they are Trump supporters. They are hosts of The Viewer's View. They're former Facebook users. They're the first ladies of punditry. Diamond and Silk, thanks again for joining us. Next time, if you could bring a little enthusiasm to the conversation.
Bring some love. Bring some love for Maxine Waters next time, okay?
That's right. And don't forget to watch out for our new movie, Dummycrats.com. Coming to you, Dummycrats.com.
TheDummycrats.com, a movie by Diamond and Silk. They're movie producers now. I love it. All right, Diamond and Silk, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And they joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
You got a rhetorical whooping from Diamond and Silk.
You know what? I'm just a news professional. Today, mostly sunny and less humid, high 86. Tonight, patchy clouds, low of 65. Today, Mexico beats Brazil in the World Cup in a few minutes. And then Trump bakes the cake, tres leches, that brings El Tri to the White House.
I mean, does it even matter who beats who? Because everybody just keeps playing, right? Nobody gets eliminated.
It is the elimination tournament of the world. The greatest tournament of all time. And right now, for the traffic, Kevin Henry.
Yeah, it's pretty lousy on the northbound tri-state from 83rd Street toll up to 31st and Roosevelt to the O'Hare Oasis. Southbound from Irving Park to the Bensonville Bridge. On the Reagan, you're looking good both directions. 355 northbound, though. Heavy 63rd to Roosevelt from the earlier crash. Army Trail to 290. Southbound from north back down to Roosevelt. The Edens outbound slow most of the way. Cicero to Lake, 24 minutes to Lake Cook. The inbound Kennedy, 38 from O'Hare. 28 from the Junction Express will only save you about 2. The Ohio feeder backing up into downtown. Outbound side, 11 to Montrose, 36 to O'Hare. The inbound Ike jammed on the extension north to the Tri-State, again from Independence to the Byrne interchange. 43 from 390, 25 from Manheim. Your outbound trip to Manheim at 24 minutes. 43 out to 390. The inbound Stevenson, 44, 40 back out. I'm Kevin Henry in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off drugs and get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He is the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain. Find the source and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain. You can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know. The credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people. They're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. I don't think Plato had former CIA Director General Michael Hayden's tweet comparing Trump immigration policy to the Birkenau death camp at Auschwitz in mind when he conceived of the Noble Lie. Nor would Plato likely place under the Noble Lie header the D.C. Press Corps' magical storytelling about a 2-year-old Time magazine cover girl who was separated from her father in Honduras by her mother, but never separated from her mother by Border Patrol or anyone named Trump, not even Peter Fonda's nemesis Barron. The lies told by elites these days are intended to foment social unrest, not cohesion. The ignoble truth is that today's elites cover their tracks by feeding the public supersized whoppers to stunt their appetites for edifying information and dull their attention spans. Never mind that the fix was in at FBI. See Trump's criticism of Comey as a veiled predicate to martial law. Never mind that family separation was not new policy at the border and that only the enforcement of it was new. Instead, understand this as an existential battle not for border security, but against bigotry. In other news, Paul Manafort has pled guilty to a violent crime for which he was not charged. ABC News reports.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from a VA client.
I do have a very close personal friend. Him and his wife were both Army. They did a couple tours. They were denied their VA loan at the 11th hour. They got the carpet pulled from underneath them. So, you hear horror stories like that. With you guys going through the VA process, you guys really did most of the legwork. I mean, just a matter of getting my paperwork in order and making sure you guys had the right documents so that you could push it through, make it happen, and get us the keys to our new home.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
John Casson for Amy. And John, you saw the news about the retaliatory tariffs that Canada imposed yesterday. $12.5 billion worth of U.S. exports that are being hit with the new tax. This back and forth that's going on with the Trump approach to trade with pending renegotiation of NAFTA and the like. I've got an idea. To forestall this trade war, at least between us and our neighbors to the north. Have Trump invite Trudeau to Stanley Park Tea House in Vancouver. Why do I say that? Because it's in Vancouver, so it's on Trudeau's home turf.
Right.
And Trump would be comfortable there because the Stanley Park Tea House fired manager Darren Hodge. Fired the manager of a restaurant. Darren Hodge made the decision, who refused to provide service to a customer wearing a MAGA hat, Make America Great Again hat, ordered the customer to remove the hat or he was not going to receive service, and the manager stood by the decision to relieve this employee of his post.
Yeah, and that's as it should be, because Canadian people are generally good people, polite. Thank you, I dropped my phone.
Yeah.
Good people, polite people, mannerly in the extreme. Have you ever seen a Canadian without shine shoes?
Only that woman.
Doing business. Have you ever seen Canadian women? They wear like tweeds even in the summer. The people have they're just straight-laced types.
Well, I like it, and I got the names wrong here. Eva Gates she made the call. Darren Hodge is the employee who was fired because wearing a MAGA hat signifies racism, bigotry, the usual lines from the lobotomized left.
And the anti-gay thing, although I can't figure out how is Trump anti-gay.
Yeah, stop trying to figure out merit with respect to these statements. The only thing I would say about the Canadians and their politeness, you do have that one outlier, that woman at the Tim Hortons who took a dump in the front of the cashier. So, I mean, I'm just saying there are exceptions to the rule. I'm just saying,
certain
exceptions to the
images
rule.
I will not entertain before breakfast.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk to Selena Zito from the Washington Examiner at 8:38 to get her assessment of how these issues, from violence against journalists to immigration policy, are working out for the Trump administration. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
73 degrees, partly cloudy skies. President Trump's longtime personal lawyer is hinting he may cooperate with special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. In his first interview since it was revealed he was under investigation, Michael Cohen telling ABC News that family and country, not the president, are his first loyalty. President Trump said over the weekend access to abortion could one day be decided on a state-by-state issue.
Maybe someday it will be to the states. You never know how that's going to turn out. That's a very complex question. The Roe v. Wade is probably the one that people are talking about, but we'll see what happens. but it could very well end up with states at some point.
Trump on Fox News. Meantime, the president this morning congratulating Mexico's next president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, on Twitter, saying he looks forward to working with him. FBI says agents thwarted a 4th of July terror attack on downtown Cleveland. The suspect has been charged with attempted material support of a foreign terror organization. Other details are yet to come out. No one is in custody here in Chicago after 3 underage sisters were among 6 wounded in a shooting on Chicago's west side. Authorities have identified a man killed in a major crash over the weekend in Elk Grove Village. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says Giuseppe Gazzano was killed as the result of injuries suffered in a wreck involving a dump truck and 5 other vehicles. Leave the fireworks to the pros this week. It's advice this morning from the Illinois State Fire Marshal and the DNR. State putting out that reminder that most fireworks are illegal in the state. The DNR is actually in charge of those fireworks permits. Cubs hold on to top the Twins 11-10. Sox beat the Rangers 10-5 in Arlington. Kyle Busch pulls out the victory in the NASCAR Series at Chicagoland Motor Speedway. The news service of Lowe's. If you're active or veteran U.S. military personnel, Lowe's would like to honor your service by offering you 10% savings every day on purchases you make in-store or online. For details, visit lowes.com/military. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher. The Mike Gallagher Show.
This is the headline at CNN.com. Donald Trump is as popular as he's ever been, parentheses, in one poll. That's the CNN News headline. I've never seen a more biased headline. You know what that one poll is they're referring to? Oh, I don't know, a little organization called Gallup. Oh, my gosh. We are in Crazyville.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Progressive Insurance. Comparing rates to help you save. Call or click today and find out how much Progressive could save you.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-500-5588. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-500-5588 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-500-5588 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-500-5588.
When you conceal carry, you want to carry responsibly, safely, and with confidence. You want UltiClip. UltiClip was designed out of necessity. Traditional holster clips fail in performance, losing their retention or breaking. With UltiClip, you get the ultimate carry solution that replaces standard holster clips and features a smaller visible footprint than other clips. The patented design gains over 10 times the holster retention for better security and maximum concealment. Plus, UltiClip features the first multi-purpose tool and clip combo. And UltiClip isn't just for holsters. It can also be used for knife sheaths. Police departments are using UltiClip to secure their body cameras, badges, and other equipment. Stop wasting money searching for the right holster when you can upgrade and improve your current holster with UltiClip. Proudly made in the USA from spring steel and named Gear of the Year by Gun Digest. Go to ulticlip.com to shop and learn more about ways you can use the best retention clip available. That's ULTIClip.com. ulticlip.com for ultimate retention and concealment.
It is 8:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center And in for Jim, here's Kevin Henry.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Eden's clear, 19 minutes. Outbound tight, Pratt to Niles Center. A break before your slow Dempster to Skokie, 23 to Lake Cook. The inbound Kennedy heavy Belmont all the way into downtown, 38 from O'Hare, 28 from the Junction Express, save you 2. Outbound slows Costner to Sayre, 11 to Montrose, 36 to O'Hare. Heavy inbound Ike on the extension, north to the Tri-State again through the Roadwork Independence to the Burn Interchange, 390 in at 44 minutes, 26 from Manheim. Outbound slows Austin to Manheim, 83 to 355, 24 to Manheim, 43 to 390. 44 on the inbound Stevenson trip, 40 back out. The inbound Ryan slows from 71st to the Skyway, 35th to the Burn Interchange, 38 from 95th. Your express lanes are slowing from 47th. No delays outbound. I-57 in the Ford looking good. Northbound Lakeshore Drive slammed from the Stevenson to Jackson. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Kevin Henry on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny and less humid today, high 86. 65 overnight, 88 and more humid tomorrow, 90 Wednesday and Thursday. And by Friday, we'll kick out that humidity. Partly sunny and a high only of 81. Currently 72. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy J this morning is Chicago Tribune columnist, the renowned John Cass. John,
good man.
Yes. John, President Trump sat down with Maria Bartiromo over the weekend for a discussion, a range of topics, including the intensity of criticism leveled in his direction and the back and forth between Americans on the issues of immigration and the family separation policy, particularly against the backdrop of the horrific incident last week, the murder of 5 staffers of the Capital Gazette newspaper in Annapolis. And here's what Trump had to say about some of his more vociferous and exorcised critics.
I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
The 28-year-old socialist that just beat out Joe Crowley says abolish ICE. And get this. Here we see your lovely press secretary, Sarah Sanders, getting asked to leave a restaurant. We see Peter Fonda, Robert De Niro having Trump syndrome. They're going crazy. All of this vitriol in this country. As the commander-in-chief, as the president of this great country, what can you do to bring us together?
Well, some of them do it for publicity. I hate to say it. Some of them do it for publicity. Now, the Hen restaurant I thought was terrible with Sarah. I thought it was terrible.
It's all terrible.
I think some of the things that are said are terrible. And, you know, it's our people are so incredible. You know, there's probably never been a base in the history of politics in this country like my base. I hope the other side realizes that they better just take it easy. They better just take it easy. Because some of the language used, some of the words used, even some of the radical ideas, I really think they're very bad for the country. I think they're actually very dangerous for the country.
So, of course, members of the D.C. Press Corps picking up on the critics better take it easy with my base as some sort of veiled assertion that violence could ensue, and so Trump is encouraging violence again, much as Jennifer Rubin from the Washington Post sort of blamed Trump in part for that massacre at the Capital Gazette newspaper when she was on Bill Maher show over the weekend.
A lot of pearl clutching. I'm tired of the pearl clutching, and I can't wait to listen to the next guest.
All right, with that segue, Selena Zito, Washington Examiner reporter, New York Post columnist, CNN contributor, and author of the new book, The Great Revolt Inside the Populist Coalition, Reshaping American Politics. Selena, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. I did not know that he was being criticized about saying let's take it easy, and that people were turning it into, sort of projecting themselves rather than maybe taking him at his word. Maybe it just meant take it easy.
Like relax, yeah.
Right. Be nice. It's important to be nicer. I say that on Twitter a lot. Sometimes the reactions and the words that are used in response to that sort of stuns me because it isn't being nice.
Well, yeah, so they're sort of projecting, right, as you said, projecting themselves onto it and interpreting everything Trump says to, in a light least favorable to him. And the question that was put out by Dan Henninger over the weekend in the Wall Street Journal, particularly with respect to all of the rallies that were held around the country and some of the signs and the abolish ICE rhetoric and so forth, the question he says is the question of the moment: can the Democratic Party control its left? It seems like we're getting an answer to that based on what we saw over the weekend.
Well, absolutely. And just as the Republicans were sort of having growing pains with their populist coalition, the Democrats, and I've been writing about this for years, that the most energized, most active, most vocal portion of their party is much further left than the typical sort of Democratic platform. Yes, the Democratic platform has gone left since Al Gore ran, but the activists on the side right now that are really engaged since Trump won are either further left than the platform. In particular, as you said, getting rid of ICE. When I saw New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand say, that on CNN the other day, I was sort of shocked that she didn't have this understanding of what ICE does. Not only does it protect our border, but it also protects the people that come across illegally. Mm-hmm. They keep them safe. They keep them guarded, whether they're putting them in a facility or getting them back across the border. They serve as these protectors. And I just find it sort of stunning that there's this lack of knowledge from a U.S. senator.
What does it say about the Democratic Party that their most activist base is almost, seems to me they're devouring the centrists or whatever, the liberals, just as the populist, as the Tea Party and others devoured this Bush, white shoe Republican crowd. It just seemed like it's happening on there because they lost credibility. The Republicans lost credibility with their voters, and obviously it looks like the Democrats have lost credibility with their, left wing.
So this was outlined in the Great Revolt. Today's populism is on the right. It's a sort of healthy skepticism of all things big. On the left, it is more of a stark revolution against all things big on their side of the aisle, which includes the establishment. And this is, look, New York, the Bronx is not the only place where a DSA member won. I had a story about this today in the Washington Examiner. In Pittsburgh, 3 moderate public servants, Democratic public servants who have been in office for years and have been good, sort of stewards of the communities, the state and Senate seats that they represent, were all thrown out by DSA members in the primary in Pennsylvania in May. That sort of went unnoticed, but that's kind of a big deal. It's Pittsburgh, right? So it's not just in New York. It is also, there are fielding candidates everywhere. They feel empowered right now. The Democratic Socialists in America feel empowered now by their wins, so they're going for more local races. And when you see that happen in local races, it's inevitable that it starts to happen in then congressional seats, in governor seats, and in House seats. Maybe they don't win, but maybe they get through a primary, and that's that message that they sort of espouse is something that the Democrats then have to either reject or get behind, and that's their challenge right now.
Yeah, we've been seeing that happen in Chicago for the last several cycles as well. Your colleague at the New York Post, Paul Sperry, had an interesting piece over the weekend about this idea, Obama has disappeared, sort of debunking it, suggesting that Obama is behind the scenes, pulling a lot of levers, meeting regularly with Tom Perez, meeting regularly with Eric Holder on the issue of redistricting, using OFA, Organizing for America, to advance things like all of these rallies that were held around the nation over the weekend. Is that your sense of it, that Obama is very much engaged? He's been willing to be obviously publicly critical of Trump, but he's even more engaged than that in terms of continuing to sort of be a shadow leader of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, he absolutely is. People just aren't paying attention. He's in particularly been working with Eric Holder on these gerrymandering and redistricting, and they won in Pennsylvania. Our entire congressional delegation was just and congressional lines were completely just thrown out, breaking the 200-year precedent on how these lines are picked. The problem for Democrats or the problem for Obama, I think, is that under his watch, he was not a party builder. And so they lost, 1,900 seats between 2009 and 2016, down ballot seats. We're talking about state legislative races, governor's races, House races, Senate races. So he wasn't a party builder while he's in office. It is interesting to see how he's poking at the system to win. So he's trying to win through changing the lines as opposed to having better messages. That's very telling about how he sees victory should look.
She is Selena Zito, Washington Examiner reporter, New York Post columnist, CNN contributor, and author. She's very busy. The book, The Great Revolt, Inside the Populist Coalition, Reshaping American Politics. Selena, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me on.
And she joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Your business's finances are very personal. It's the determining factor on the course you'll take for your family and your employees. But what happens when you're reaching a phase when you need advice? You want to turn to an expert, but who can you trust? Look for someone who is both knowledgeable and involved in the community, like Fred O'Connor of Northwestern Mutual. Fred has worked from Wall Street to Europe in the financial industry, but his calling as an engaged civic leader speaks to the earnest trust Fred has gained over his 30 years serving businesses and the families that run them. Fred serves on the board of the 100 Club of Chicago, the Big Shoulders Fund, and the Irish Fellowship Club. Fred can help you manage risk and plan for your goals, such as rewarding key people and strategies for business exit. Visit FredO'Connor.com to learn more about Fred's services and how he can take your business to the next level. That's FredO'Connor.com. Northwestern Mutual is the marketing name for the Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fred O'Connor is an insurance agent of NM.
I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group and timeshare cancellation advocate. I was sued by the largest timeshare company in federal court for simply helping people cancel their timeshare that they had been lied to about. The jury sized me up and came back with a verdict after only 20 minutes. And yes, I won.
My husband and I are more than grateful to everyone at Wesley Financial Group. You know, thanks to Chuck and his team, we feel as though a weight has been lifted and we can move on without the worry of a troublesome timeshare.
Whether you owe $10,000 to $250,000 on your timeshare, it's my mission to get you out of your timeshare, eliminate your payments, and get them off your back permanently. And we proudly hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
Want to learn more about getting rid of your troublesome timeshare? Call Wesley Financial Group now for your free consultation. Call 800-786-9300. That's 800-786-9300. 800-786-9300.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. and I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back, and it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Who is Joe Donnelly really working for? As a U.S. Senator, we pay him $174,000 a year. So, Donnelly's taxpayer-funded salary is almost 3 times more than a typical Hoosier family makes. But that wasn't enough for Donnelly. Donnelly took more. His family business got caught outsourcing jobs to Mexico. Mexico Joe profited up to $80,000. And a past safety inspection of Donnelly's family business found serious safety violations that put its Hoosier workers in danger. A 6-figure taxpayer-funded salary. His family's business caught outsourcing jobs to Mexico, risking American jobs. Mexico Joe Donnelly profits with tens of thousands. Vote no on Mexico Joe. He's just not working for Indiana. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Chicagoland Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us. He gets it. That's one of the things I think that separates you from others in a very competitive marketplace, Ryan. Why is thehomeloanexpert.com the place to go to buy or sell your home?
I'll give you a couple of things that really separate the Home Loan Expert office from all these other mortgage lenders. First of all, it's the way we take care of our clients. 15 years ago, when I was knocking on doors, trying to start up the Home Loan Expert and get in the business, I sat down at people's kitchen tables and I talked to them. And one of the biggest frustrations people had was they didn't trust mortgage lenders. They felt like they were shoved into loans. Well, we don't do that. We offer customer service that nobody else can match. And of course, lower rates on better loans. And we do all types of loans. We do the VA loans. Heck, we close VA loans in 14 days. Nobody else does that. We do jumbo loans, cash out loans, FHA loans. We can do a loan for about anybody. Heck, we have a bank statement mortgage. We don't even need your tax returns or pay stubs. Thinking about refinancing, now's a great time. 5 minutes can save you $500 a month. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
The warmth of sun is here for you to enjoy the great outdoors. Feel like an instant getaway with a beach vibe and fun for the entire family? There's a place nearby you're going to want to check out. Bridges Waterside Grill and Bridge Inn in Michigan City, Indiana. Bridge Inn is the perfect place for your Lake Michigan escape. Amazing attractions like the Uptown Arts District, boutique shopping, beaches, the zoo, casino, and museums are all in walking distance. Bridge Inn offers year-round lodging, but you can take in the sunshine at the Bridges Waterside Grill through September. Grab a cocktail and dine on fish tacos, burgers, and wraps with lots of vegetarian and seafood options. Book one of 14 suites at Bridge Inn before summer sells out. Bridges is located near the rotating train bridge on the Trail Creek waterfront in the heart of Michigan City. Don't visit Michigan City without stopping by the Bridge Inn and Bridges Waterside Grill. For more info and availability, visit bridgeinnmc.com. That's bridgeinnmc.com.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/America. That's ZipRecruiter.com/America. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/America.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass in for Amy this morning. And John, you're a fan of Monty Python, aren't you?
Yes. Cheese shops, parrots, the whole thing.
Sure. The Department of Funny Walks, the Collection of the Dead.
Bring out your dead.
not dead yet. And Monty Python, interestingly, in the politically correct crosshairs, writes Jim Pinkerton at theamericanconservative.com. Monty Python would not be made today, so said BBC's controller of comedy commissioning, which it almost seems like a Monty Python title of a skit to have a BBC controller of comedy commissioning. The problem is that today the requirements for a comedy to be aired by the BBC include a diverse range of people who reflect the modern world.
If you're going to assemble a team, comedy team, it's not going to be 6 Oxbridge white blokes.
The great thing is John Cleese, in response to this, stayed completely in character. Tribute to Monty Python's heritage. He responded saying, "Unfair!" exclamation point. "We were remarkably diverse for our time. We had 3 grammar school boys, one a poof, and Gilliam, though not actually black, was a Yank, and no slave owners." Good for John Cleese to continue parodying the humorless. But it's interesting because I remember I saw a screening of Blazing Saddles with Mel Brooks at the Chicago Theater about 2 years ago.
Whoa.
And so you watch the movie, and then Mel Brooks comes out and tells an hour of stories. It was just so fantastic. And that's the question he's always asked. The first question he's asked from the audience when he does these events is, do you think Blazing Saddles could be made today? And he says, absolutely not. And what a sad commentary that is on today. The idea that the latest period in time is the most advanced period in time. Not true if you can't get art like Monty Python or Blazing Saddles made.
When we had comedy clubs blowing up all over the place, every block had a comedy club, it was President Reagan who was in office. Think of that. It was the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we get moved toward that sort of censorship and virtue signaling, cleaving to weeping fetal positions, the less funny we are.
Cultural Marxism is quite humorless and very totalitarian. John Cass, Chicago Tribune columnist extraordinaire, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate you sitting in. Fun as always, informative as always. And thank you all for checking in with us today. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
A man accused of